Mike, turn your games down.
Hi, we're doing a movie episode of Games My Mom Found. I am Mike Albertin, and who's all here just to chill with me tonight?
I'm Bill Tucker from A Gamer Looks at 40, and I am not dignifying this movie with anything funny to say at the open. Damn it. That's what I have for this. This movie ruined my day. So there you go.
Wow. Hi, everybody. This is Kenneth Sanity, and it's very nice to be here.
This is Joe Butler, and that's right. My brain is the size of my muscles, so I'm a very big intellectual.
Pretty good.
This is Blair Farrell from comicbookvideogames.com, and this is the only opportunity in my life I'm ever going to get to do this, so I'm seizing that moment. Batman and Robin from Game.com.
Wow.
That is for Crispin Boyer.
Wow.
I'm so confused.
It's a little handheld system, right?
Yeah.
There was a bit on EGM Live where Crispin Boyer would play Batman and Robin on Game.com, and apparently, according to Chris Baker, he also plugged it into the sound system of The Office. So people were just like hearing those awful noises. And they used to do promos for EGM Live with that. And I was like, I'm doing it. This is the only time I'm ever going to be able to do it.
Now, was that on an authenticgame.com?
I wish. I honestly was going to order one, but I don't think one would have got here in time.
It wasn't worth the bit.
Oh, yes, it was. It's going to happen someday.
And Joe, what are we here to talk about? Because this is all your fault.
Obviously, everyone already knows what we're talking about by the stupid shit we've been doing in the intro. Today, we're talking about Batman and Robin, a Joel Schumacher film, and it came out in 1997.
Yes, it did. So I had never seen this movie before in my life until 2 days ago.
What?
And I don't know how, to be honest. Like I had seen very, very little of this movie. I might have walked in and saw part of the stuff with Bane, part of the stuff with Ivy, but never seen the whole movie. And I don't know why, because I like Batman, I like comic books, I like movies, and somehow the world told me this movie was bad, so Mike just never watched it.
Well,
So,
I can almost see that because this movie came out really quickly after Batman Forever. There was not a lot of turnaround, if I remember correctly. Was it 2 years? Which is not less than 2 years, probably. I think. Yeah, it premiered in June 12th, 1997, and I don't know when Batman Forever was 95. So yeah, I guess about 2 years. And
about 2 years.
Not especially in that era, that's a pretty short turnaround. These days, we're so used to a Marvel movie every year or 3 Marvel movies a year because they're being made concurrently. Back in those days, that was a fast turnaround for a movie. When I say this movie ruined my day, I am being a little hyperbolic. I don't. It didn't ruin my day, but it certainly didn't make it any better. And it most certainly gave me opportunities to exclaim to the universe, "Why? Why? There's so many whys in this movie, and there are answers for these whys." But we'll get into it. This movie stinks. This is well regarded as one of the worst Batman movies ever made.
Oh God! Yeah.
I do not want to live in a world where we retroactively think this is good. I don't because I need to live in a world where there's some sensibility, where some objectivity exists. That everything can't just be good because bad is good and because good is good and bad is good. Like that can't be the world I live in and raise my kids in. So like this movie gave me some existential dread and like, oh no, people are coming around to this. Like, oh, this is actually kind of fun and neat and cute and charming. No, it's not. It stinks on ice, not on ice, on rollerblades. It stinks on ice that was ice, but is now rollerblades.
How about ice skates on ice where you click your heels together and you have ice skates?
Right. Because,
that might happen.
You never know when to be funny on a North Pole. Listen, this movie, if you derive some joy from this, we're in an election year. Please do. Okay, derive some joy, guys. Please, that's fine. That's fine. But we cannot live in a world where this is actually considered good. Because if this is considered good, then what is bad? And if that cannot be. So
I think it's,
man, what a fucking good movie this is.
I hate this movie so much.
I think it's the difference between bad and boring. because I think I brought it up the other day where I think this movie is boring, but it's always interesting to look at. And I think I'd rather watch bad and interesting to look at than something that's like in one ear and out the other, like most streaming movies. And I think that's where I thought. Am I the only one who saw this in theater back in the day, by the way?
Oh, I saw this in theaters. Yeah. Definitely.
Okay. Because I have a story about that because it's actually funny. So I think when I saw this in theater, I'm pretty sure I graduated grade 7. And my mom, I think, said like, hey, we'll drive into the city and we're going to see a movie. And I went to go see Batman and Robin because my brother and I just love superheroes. And actually, I kind of owe this movie something because I got out of this and I still wasn't in that much of a critical phase. And it made me want to go out and buy Batman comics. And I bought Batman and Nightwing. So I owe it that much. But on the way back home, we were driving home and we saw a car in front of us like really slow down. And my mom slowed down. And it was like we almost very nearly got into an accident with a moose on our highway.
Ooh.
And all because we had to go see Batman and Robin. And then I watched this on Tuesday night. And I went to go pick up my fiance from her job at the local mall here. And a cabbie was taking a left, and I nearly went into a cabbie. So the moral is I should never watch this movie because I might get into a vehicular accident.
Don't watch Batman and Robin and drive is the moral of the story. You need at least an hour before you get behind the wheel.
Yeah.
It's like swimming that way.
True. Very true. Very true. Ken, you're just trolling me when you say you, because I know you. I think you like this movie more than you expected to, based on our conversations on the chat. Please.
All right. So let me give you a little brief rundown here. My history with this movie. I also saw this in the theater, and if Batman Forever upset me, this created the vile, hateful core of Kenneth's sanity. Like, obviously not really, but like, you know, Hitler could have come in and took a crap in my grandma's face and I probably would have been less upset. Like, this movie just seemed absolutely ridiculous to me. Now, after years of life experience and years of more Batman experience than I had at the time, I can watch this and say, like, I get it. I get what they were trying to do. I don't think that's what the world needed. I 100% blame the studio. Joel Schumacher did what he could.
Yeah, it's like the finale of Batman Brave and the Bold where they're talking about like Batman can be this or Batman can be that. Like, it's never one thing. And yeah, like Mr. Freeze's story in this is borrowing heavily from Batman the Animated Series, which is a cartoon, which is less of a cartoon than this.
It is less of a cartoon than this.
That is completely fair. I mean, this movie is just, it's dumb. It's meant to be dumb.
God, that Brave and the Bold episode is really fucking good too. You never watched that series?
I never watched Brave and the Bold, unfortunately.
That's fucking
like, I went into this movie having I had no expectations. I'm like, this is going to be stupid. I bought some Little Caesars. I can eat some crap food while I watch a crap movie. And unfortunately, I only watched about 40 minutes. I had to go run because it's been a busy week. But like all of a sudden, I'm like, I'm enjoying this movie. This is stupid funny.
I thought you said you were going to have to run because of the Little Caesars.
Surprisingly, I didn't have any stomach issues. And Joe, they cut my pizza when I ordered it. It wasn't just uncut like yours was that one time.
Eat my ass. I continue to have issues with Little Caesars, and I'm going to fucking go over there and have all the fucking employees walk out and then burn it to the fucking ground.
Or just don't go to Little Caesars anymore.
But it's cheap pizza. Those pizza puffs are really good too.
I didn't try those. I just had the wings, and then I dipped my pizza into the wing sauce, which is probably not a good thing, but it sure tasted good.
So this episode of Games My Mom Found is brought to you by Little Caesars.
Hey, I almost worked at Little Caesars. Is this the manager one? Is that
I think we need a jingle for Little Caesars. All right, here we go.
All right, get to work.
Little Caesars is cheap and it's easy, just like your mom. Ding.
Yeah, and then we'll get sponsored, and it will get sponsored, and they'll feature the Mike Albertin meal, which is a pizza, a 2-year soda, and some wings.
Normally, yeah,
an uncut pizza.
Yeah, an uncut pizza. And
This movie made me laugh. Like, I was just laughing at the absurd, just absurd, whatever word I want that fits there. Like, it's just absurd. No, not absurd. What the hell am I trying to say?
Absurd. The absurdity of it. Yeah, and I think, listen, my misgivings aside, I think, again, I always say this: people are allowed to like bad things. I think it's great when people like bad things. Let's all agree that this is a bad thing, and if you wrung some joy from it at its own expense, then I can't fault you for that. But I found no joy in this whatsoever. If it weren't for this very show, I would have about half an hour been like, yeah, no, I have better things to do with my life.
I want to say
it's a bad movie. I will say it right there, but it's a fun bad movie. Like, you can see what Joel Schumacher was trying to do, and he had a vision, and then you can see where the corporate and the toy overlords got involved and said, no, we're doing this, and you can just feel it because it feels like something like Silver Age Batman from the 60s, like that very campy, goofy Batman, which I've never read a comic of and never will, but I've seen enough covers, so I own a few. Like, that's what it reminded me of, and that's like the feel of this movie, I want to say.
All right, so we're going to bust this one wide open right away if we're going to talk about Batman, old, like, 60s Batman, because, man, there are parallels.
Before we get into that, though, because we all have a bad story to go with this bad movie, apparently, which makes me fucking feel bad. I have to tell you guys how this movie ruined my childhood.
All right, here we go.
Let's go.
And honestly, I think I'll wait till Mike posts the podcast and I will share the picture on the Discord. So this movie came out in 1995, right?
97.
97, okay. Okay, that's important. So that was 97. I would have been like 4. So 4-year-old me, excited to see this movie, super in the closet as a child because, like I said, the first movie is also equally gay. If not this movie, a lot gayer.
Oh, this movie is a lot
and
more.
Horny.
Oh, God, yes.
And horny. Cut to 2 years later. And I know what you're thinking. What does 2 years later have to do with Batman and Robin if this movie came out in 97? 99 is year of Star Wars Episode 1. The most badass Star Wars movie a child could have seen that day and age. And I went with my uncle to go see this movie. And the first thing I did, which I don't even know what month it came out in, but I was like, man, I really want to be fucking Qui-Gon Jinn for fucking Halloween. I grew up with my grandparents. My dad was on talking terms with my mom, with my grandma. And I don't know how they met or they were on the phone somehow. I don't fucking know what happened. But somehow my dad told my grandma that at one point when I was a kid, I want to be Robin for Halloween. So I shit you not. You know where I'm going with this. I come home to tell my grandma what I want to be for Halloween. And if there's no Batman movie out in the last probably 2 years, so I get the shittiest goddamn fucking costume from fucking, what's the costume place we have here in America?
Spirit Halloween.
Not Spirit Halloween. It wasn't invented yet.
Party City we had. Target,
Party City.
Walmart.
It was Party City fucking style. Like, if you go there now and ask for a Robin costume, that's the one they give you.
Yep.
And it's even weirder because my cousin, who's basically my sister, I love her to pieces. She's my best friend, who's also in the LGBT community, was like, I'm going to be a soldier this year because Spice Girls was popular. So there you have my sister, head to foot in like fucking kids, like fucking military like outfit, like the Spice Girls, wearing a headband. And I'm wearing this shitty fucking like $5 Robin costume from fucking Party City. And you can see how much I hate my fucking life in that photo. Especially because my aunt does the most fucked up thing. And I know she's laughing at me and she goes, hey, Joseph, do the thing where you hold the cape out like Batman. And I'm just so fucking pissed off in that photo.
I want to see this now.
I need to see the photo. B, I need a little more information on this costume. Was it one of those that's like it's almost made out of toilet paper? That's how thin the material is.
Yeah, it's almost made out of toilet paper.
It's got like probably got the chest plate on it, but it's made out of the worst possible plastic. It's basically made out of like the remnants of I'm trying to like a garbage can lid, but thinner. Like and it goes wabba, 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 wabba when you move it.
No,
those things.
This is the one where like the patch is ironed on and like the little buttons are ironed on. And I know I'm wearing tights, and I'm like, and now that I think about it, I'm like, how the fuck do the shorts come with tights? God damn it! And then the cape is like super like glittery too, and I'm like, if I look at the photos, I'm like, oh yeah, they all knew I was gay when I was like 7. There's no doubt in my mind. They didn't know.
It's a goose suit. We goose him a little.
Yeah, it's basically it.
Circus term.
That is a shame.
Nothing bad's happened to me from this movie. Nothing.
Yeah,
I remember I had some toys. I had some of the memorabilia stuff or merchandise that came out from this, and that's about it. But I never saw the movie.
The figures for this were dope. When I got it here, I got the the Robin and Mr. Freeze, and I don't think there was a Chuck Dixon Nightwing figure at that time. We never really got a black and blue Nightwing until the animated series, and that Chris O'Donnell Robin was the closest thing I had to a Nightwing figure.
You can
Well, that's
tell
fair
it
because they also had
wanted
to change a costume in here too, just to sell toys, literally.
Well, yeah, that was pretty much the main. And we can talk a bit about the provenance. I just find it that's a very funny story, Joe, about your costume. One good thing that came out of this was the Smashing Pumpkins released a new song for the first time in 2 years.
Oh,
That was good for me.
that
Yeah,
song.
It's not hasn't aged well. It has not aged well. I will admit that fully.
I beg to differ, but go off.
I think so. That's okay. It's fine. It's that weird era in Smashing Pumpkins world where their drummer was on heroin and the keyboardist died and the band was still in flux and they were kind of right before they released The Door, which is great. And I like that song fine. I think it's kind of like just basic Smashing Pumpkins. I think it's fine. And
It's
actually,
their pseudo-industrial time. It's
it's
great.
it's their pseudo-industrial time. And I will say A Door is a much better album than most people give credit for.
Damn straight.
It's a really, really, really good album. End is the beginning is the end. Won a Grammy that year for best hard rock performance. Just to show you what it was up against, Bush Swallowed, Foo Fighters' Monkey Wrench, Nine Inch Nails' The Perfect Drug, which is basically the same song. Let's be
That's a
honest.
good song.
Whoa.
I'm just kidding. I'm teasing.
Pump the brakes, kid. You're talking about a national treasure.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm teasing. And then Rage Against the Machine, People of the Sun. So I don't think that song is better than any of those. It's just to show you what the Grammys are all about.
Those are way better than
I think it's the more palatable version of it. Like
Plus
it's
they-
the most palatable song on that list.
Yeah, I think that's probably the kindest way of saying it. Most palatable is probably the fairest. Plus, they had won the Grammy the year before, so they probably liked having two in a row. Whatever. Anyways, the Grammys. The soundtrack is pretty terrible, though. Other than that,
I know.
Didn't even know
That-
that.
I don't
Nope.
like the soundtrack at all.
Soundtrack's good. Better
So-
than Batman Forever.
Ooh, really? I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that.
I don't remember the soundtrack, but I do remember there's a song by R. Kelly about Gotham City where I believe the lyrics are a city of justice and a city of peace when Gotham's like one of the biggest toilets in the entire city.
Yep. No, that's correct.
You know how many
we
comics
also-
he read then beforehand.
We also got Bone Thugs and Harmony on there.
That is true.
Look Into My Eyes is a banger. I know a lot of people didn't like House on Fire by Arcana, but I love that song.
Not a fan.
And you got to understand, when this was out, like, I was sneaking into clubs and raves. So the fact
I
that
can
this
believe
one had Moloko and Underworld on it, this just won my little rave kid heart. I was
Oh, I
like,
didn't-
that's the stuff I dance to.
I didn't know Underworld was on this. Okay, well that does kick it up a notch.
Yeah. Fun for Me by Moloko starts out the bicycle race where they're talking to Coolio. And Moaner is the song that's playing while they're racing where it's going all crazy.
Okay. That does step it up a notch. I actually don't mind Jewel. I actually do think early Jewel is fine.
I like her music. But that's what I'm
Foolish
thinking of.
Games is fine. I don't remember being in the movie, but regardless, not quite the level of Batman Forever. For something about this movie, I found it very hard to look at, especially the scenes with Poison Ivy and whenever she's doing Poison Ivy stuff, and there's just all this just stuff. Like there's constantly something happening. There's constantly something in the scenery or in the background or in the foreground. Constantly things, and the acting, such as it is I don't know. I
love Poison Ivy in this Uma Thurman.
Well-
I think it's perfect.
if you like her doing a Mae West impersonation the entire time and going
I
in
do.
and out of it poorly,
Apparently, like,
great.
I was watching it. I'm like, her acting is not good in this movie, but I'm just loving it. I don't know
Mae
what
West
it
is
was.
great.
Well, something I really wanted to breach on the subject, because I've been thinking a lot about it lately, and it's like a slider I'm developing where it's like the art and commerce slider and how you kind of judge that. Because when I think about, like, say, this movie where it's like a full-on one, where it's like, we need to change the story to sell toys and it affects the movie. But then I think of something like the Zack Snyder films, and people love those. And say like the latest The Batman film, where these are art house movies. Well, I mean, some are trying to be art house movies, and one is really good, but these aren't things that you sell kids toys for. Like, you don't get a toyetic commercial for the Batman where it's like the evil Penguin is invading Gotham City with the help of the Riddler, and like Batman like smashes through ice blocks. Like that isn't that movie. Like you kind of got to hit the middle where it's like Michael Keaton Batman, where it's like here's a flood of merchandise, but also this thing is like really, really good.
We also have 3 villains in this movie, so there's tons of toys that could have come out with this.
Yeah, one of the things when I was watching YouTube videos before we did this recording, that the toy execs were there in the meeting when they were making this movie to tell him how to design stuff so they could sell more toys.
Oh, the finale. Oh, I really want to get into the finale. But something I also want to say, because I was a 90s kid, and I know Alicia is listening because I'm sure she looks up every podcast where a bunch of white people are talking about Batman and Robin.
I'm sure.
But I want to retroactively apologize to that girl because I do not know why everyone was weight shaming that girl in this movie. Like, what is wrong with people?
Was that really a thing at this time?
Yeah, really?
She was weight shamed on set, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh wow!
Yeah, she was by some of the crew and stuff, and one of the artists made like there was a lot of things where they were giving her crap. Like, I don't understand.
That's bullshit.
She's not heavy in this at all. Like, what the fuck?
Really? That is bizarre to me. I didn't know that was a piece of the pie here. I don't know if she's ever done any. She's done a lot of work. Like, she's done a lot of stuff over the year. I don't know if she's done anything good, and she's unfortunately not very good in this movie. But honestly, with the script that she's given, I don't think anyone could have hit those pitches. Like that's. I don't think that's her fault. I think that's just kind of what she was handed. Has she, Mr. Sanity, has she done something good that I'm just missing?
Well, first off, this is blatant clueless erasure. How dare you?
Oh yeah, I never really watched Clueless. That was what, 95, 4, 5.
I love
95ish. Yeah, I would have been watching Clueless at the time.
She got recast in the because she was in the first Masters of the Universe revival as He-Man's mom.
Oh shit!
And they managed to squeeze in the as if line.
Really? Really?
It kind of worked. I'm not a big He-Man fan. Those new He-Man Netflix series are dope.
Oh yeah, I've heard good things.
But Alicia Silverstone also had a very small but impactful part in the movie The Lodge, which hell of a movie.
Okay. Alrighty, I will trust you on that one. I have not seen it.
And don't forget the most important part. We have gay icon Uma Thurman in this movie as well.
Is she a gay? Is she a gay icon?
I think so.
Dude, this entire movie is gay icon.
Yeah, it really is.
Oh god, yeah. Oh yeah.
But like, okay, so somebody on the Discord said that this movie was a long gay joke, and I completely disagree with it because yeah, it got the gays riled up, but this movie's also for the straights. I would argue that this is one of the first movies shot with the bisexual gaze, complete with bisexual lighting, one of the first instances of it.
I'd agree with that. I would absolutely agree with that. Yep.
I agree with that
it was
too.
funny. It was funny because when you guys were talking about, you could definitely see what Joel Schumacher was going for when he was directing this movie. My quip was going to be, we certainly know where his gaze was.
Yeah.
That we know.
I mean, like when the movie starts, the first thing you see, the ass, the codpiece, the chest of Batman and Robin, like it tells you right away what you're getting yourself into.
Also, horny, Michael.
Okay, yeah, this movie was super fucking horny, and I loved it. Like, I was like, I am here for it. Every time Poison Ivy's on the screen, I'm like, I love the way she talks. I don't know what it was about Uma Thurman's Poison Ivy in the movie where I was just like on board.
Mike has like this smell-o-vision thing on his TV, so like every time she breathes, it like comes through the thing
The
and
pheromone
just,
shot at me.
like starts flying like a Looney Tunes cartoon towards the television.
Nah, he does what the rest of us do. Whenever she breathes, we breathe in our Steam Deck fumes.
Yes.
This is like
Yes, damn it. Yes.
Uma Thurman hot off of Pulp Fiction.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's right. She is one of the maybe 2 people in this movie that's actually giving it a solid try. Like she is being a professional and acting and doing her best. Even though, again, like I said, she's just channeling Mae West sometimes, not all the time.
Like her and Arnold know what movie they're in.
Yes,
Yeah.
Arnold's also giving it his absolute all as well. He's the other one who is, I think, really just giving it everything. Everybody else is really just, I don't know.
I think Arnold Schwarzenegger is not only doing his best. I think he's having a good time because that man is always happy every time you see him. For a guy who's frozen, probably can't even like feel the bottom half of his body, and his wife's like in a fucking frozen state. He is a one happy motherfucker in this movie.
And everybody wants to bang him. Like, how does that even work?
Like the random woman that's only in one scene to tell him that she wants to fuck him, and she never shows up again.
That is Vivica A. Fox.
Oh,
yeah. Is that really?
And she's credited as Miss B. Haven.
What?
She's the one in the lingerie in his lab?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Vivica A. Fox. She's in the credits in the opening. They put her name in the up front.
Who would later go on to kick Uma Thurman's ass in Kill Bill?
Yes.
Volume 1.
Holy shit! Full circle.
Fantastic in fantastic fashion.
It's like, what does my character is? It's like, what is my character is like? Oh, he's an ice guy. You can't. I don't care. I'm gonna light a stogie. I don't care.
I have stogies and I've been painted white, so it'll be like freezing stogies.
I was trying to look to see if you could light a cigar in 0 degrees, and I couldn't figure it out.
Look, he actually had those brought in and painted white so he could smoke them on set. Like, that is not a joke. That is real.
He also made a ton of money and had in his contract that he couldn't work for more than, I think it was like 12. He had a limit how much he could work in a day.
Yeah.
And he was only allowed to be on set for so many days because he's like, nope, I got to go.
Yep.
Yeah. So it's just like, it takes 10 hours to put on all that makeup. It's like, okay, we can film for 10 minutes and then I'm gone.
Well, the lights would leak in his mouth. Like he had battery acid in his mouth, I guess, at one point. And then they had to change it, but the battery only lasted for like 20 minutes, it was saying in the video I was watching. Like, yeah, it wasn't a very fun time for him, but he made a lot of money off this movie.
That's why in some scenes his mouth light up and some scenes it aren't, right?
Evidently, because I only noticed his mouth lighting up towards the end. That's when I was actively noticing. Oh, he's got a glow stick in his mouth. That era, I guess. You know, I guess he went to a rave beforehand and decided to get a glow stick. I didn't notice it any time before that. I also evidently he had a lot of stand-ins. He had a stand-in double that was very, very believable to the point where when Chris O'Donnell saw the movie, he was saying, "I never did that scene. I never did this scene." He didn't do a lot of scenes because they brought in stand-ins because he never shared the stage with Arnold Schwarzenegger. He was on set with him all the time. They were chatting and then talking, but he never shared a scene in real life with Arnold Schwarzenegger. It was always with his double. So weird. I guess that connects up to, I watched this on DVD because there's no way I was spending any amount of money on this.
On Max.
I don't have Max, so I
shouldn't have Max.
I shouldn't have Max. Yeah. I'm certainly not getting it for this. I watched it on DVD, and then afterwards I watched the special previews. I had it's like a box set, DVD box set of the 4 Batman movies, first 4. And each one has like a little DVD special features, as was the fashion of the day. And it has like a little half an hour making of vignette. And all the vignettes for all the other movies are all super positive. Everyone's like, oh yeah, it was great. And this guy was great. Everyone was lukewarm to negative in this vignette. Released by the studio. This is a studio release. This is not like a fan documentary you find on YouTube. This is the official half an hour vignette of like the making of Batman and Robin. And you have Chris O'Donnell saying, "Yeah, this wasn't very good, was it?" I mean, ugh.
Well, I also, in the video I was watching, do you know who designed the suit for Mr. Freeze?
I do not.
The toy companies.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and Joel Schumacher, I'll kind of close that later, but Joel Schumacher basically saying, "Hey, I take responsibility for this. I was there. We were just trying to make a fun movie." And I want to say to you, Mr. Schumacher, is Joel Schumacher still alive?
No.
No,
he's not.
Passed.
And he did just pass. Okay, I wasn't sure. That's why I asked. So I can't say to him. But if any of his surviving relatives or next of kin are listening to this, is not your fault, sir. It's not your fault. Like we said during Batman Forever. Do not let Batman and Robin sully your good name, sir, because you have done really good work over the years, and you should not be remembered for this movie and this movie alone.
You know what?
It's great why this movie has issues.
We should do a month of Joel Schumacher movies.
And I got
that September of Schumacher September.
Schumacher September.
Let's do it.
You even have enough movies to cover?
Oh my
yes.
God.
Oh my
Time
God.
to
Yes.
Kill, 8mm, Lost Boys,
I don't know.
The Client. Like,
Do
I
we
can
make
go.
do we make him watch 8mm? That's a rough one.
I
You phone
love-
booth?
It's
I've seen
no
Phone Booth.
oh no, it's good, but it's tough. Like it's
Yeah.
not.
Phone Booth, I think, also.
Phone Booth is fun. I like Phone Booth a lot. That last time too.
Not too bad
Yeah.
happening, by the way.
8mm is. I know it's excellent, but it's a hard one. It's a
I
challenge.
can't wait to see if it games my mom found episode for 2006's Phantom of the Opera.
Oh, yes. Yes. Talk about
Yes.
weird culture. Boom.
Yeah,
That's-
I would absolutely watch that again.
Oh, we could
Lost
watch
Boys.
PC Cat.
Never seen Lost Boys.
Also gay culture.
That's what I've heard
Yeah.
from you guys.
Great. Yeah, he's got a lot of good stuff.
Oh yeah, yeah, and that's like it's one of those things because at the end of this vignette, at the end of this thing, he says, and it's very sad. You should watch it. He goes to anybody who walked into the movie and that was disappointed. I want to apologize. And I stopped the fake tape and I stopped the DVD and I said, no, sir, you owe no apologies. You don't have to apologize for this. Don't apologize. I felt so bad. He's like, but we were, I was just trying to entertain you. Like again, this is the official like making of feature on the special features in the studio disc, and you have the director of the film apologizing for Batman and Robin, saying, "Look, I know, I was there, but the studios came in. There was toy companies. We were making the molds, and then we were sending them to the toy companies for approval before we could make the production thing." It's Joel Schumacher does not deserve any
No,
hate
because
for this.
he didn't have control. Like, I found out one of the reasons why Val Kilmer's not in this movie is because WB didn't want to wait. They're like, we need to make this now. So fuck the Kilmer, we'll get someone else in. Like, they just did
Also,
not give a shit.
He and Joel Schumacher hated each other.
Yeah,
Yes.
they loathe each other.
But I feel like they would have tried to make him come back.
Oh, that's a good movie too.
Number 23 is what just got referenced by
See, I forgot that because I was scrolling down and I was like, oh man, there was a whole bunch, but I forgot that he did Flatliners, and I just watched Popstar Never Stopping about Bill Hader talking about how like,
Oh, yeah.
it's like, yeah, I like to get a good flatlining sesh every now and then.
Point is, Joel Schumacher is not just these movies, and you would be well served if every listener out there at least watched 3 other of his movies before you called it quits on him.
100%, absolutely.
I have no problem. I mean, after watching this movie, like before we watched this, I had, like you can hear in the Batman Forever episode, I had a lot of disdain to say, and I watched this movie and I was expecting to hate it, and I was laughing constantly. Like the part where Schwarzenegger is dressed up and has all the guys singing the Jack Frost song from the old movies, the reindeer. I forget. I don't remember those movies are called.
Bass.
Yes, Frankie Bass. And it's just, and he's wearing frickin' panda bear slippers, and it's fucking hilarious. Like, this movie is just hilarious.
They're all freezing their ass off.
Yeah, Vivian A. Fox is just fine.
Except for Miss Behaven, who's in like lingerie.
Yep, she's fine.
Yeah, I'm good.
she's the least prepared for the weather out of all of them.
Weird.
When you're that hot, the weather moves around you.
I'll take it.
We also have
So-
like a really goofy moment too in that whole scene where I lost my fucking train of thought. I'm so sorry.
Well, it's not in this scene, but a little bit later, you have the dumb part which I felt like a reference to movie theaters when the guy comes in and disturbs him when he's watching. Like, I hate me, and he frees him. Like, I hate people disturbing you when I'm watching a movie because he has the newspaper to tell him about a diamond. Like, so much stupid shit. But
And
it's
that's
just
the thing,
hilarious.
because like I mentioned it, I think before we started recording, I was watching this and I had seen it, but I forgot how it all played out. And I think the reason is that like you can fit this puzzle together any number of ways, and it would make just as much sense because there's nothing that really happens. It's just they try to do like an emotional beat, like these father-son moments between like George Clooney, Batman, and Alfred. And then it smash cuts to like Uma Thurman just being a cartoon character. And then it goes to Mr. Freeze. And then Bruce Wayne has like a fiance. And there's just so much going on. And I thought about, this is why I kind of brought up earlier in our chat, like Spider-Man 3, 10 years later. And it's the same thing where we got to get this many villains. We got to get this many characters. And it's a disaster. Then 7 years later, it's like, we're going to do the Amazing Spider-Man 2. We're going to have 3 villains. We're going to set up this, and it's a disaster. Like, no one learns from these things.
No, we're doomed to repeat ourselves. Look at Thor 4.
I only had one villain though. It's just bad.
There was a lot going on in that movie, though, but they
Yeah,
also
Terrible.
they caved. Oh, but I was going to say it's also really incredibly goofy too to have Mr. Freeze, who's doing all kinds of goofy stuff with his minions, and then have Batman go, "Gosh darn it! I wish we could catch that Mr. Freeze," and he's just in the big ice cream factory.
Yeah, I was gonna bring that up. Like, who would guess? Where could he be? Well, maybe the abandoned ice cream factory. No, I can't.
Okay, hold on. I know y'all apologize for Joker's in a weird abandoned amusement park. Like, that's not that fucking obvious. He's in the fun house at the abandoned dock by the pier. Wow, blow my mind. Never would have thought about it.
I've been watching all of the DC animated projects, and I watched Batman Beyond Return of the Joker, and he's at the Jolly Jack toy factory.
Yes.
And they're like, we can't find this guy. Where is he to? It's like the guy in the hot dog outfit.
From your ass for 5 damn seconds and think about this logically.
But also with Mr. Freeze, he has to be in sub-zero temperatures, so that would give it away too.
Yeah, but this isn't and then I think about Arkham City, where I have to find the coldest point in Arkham City, and I'm going to set up my computer to find this. But this is not that kind of Batman. Oh, there's so much I want to talk about. We haven't even got to the opening with the hockey match and the rocket that comes out of his toy car.
Yeah, I didn't. No, I didn't think about that, but that makes sense.
First thing I thought of.
We're talking about this. I need to talk about this.
They're in the rocket, and Batman gets angry for Robin for following him. But if Robin wasn't there, he would have died? Question mark?
Yep, not question mark. He would have died. He was, even though when that part when he's in the shuttle and he gets a freeze beam at, he is not standing with his back against the wall like he is in the scene after he gets frozen. That his hands are handcuffed to the wall. That's not what would have happened. But that's neither here nor there. I just noticed that when I was watching it the second time. I watched this movie twice, and I'm currently watching it a third time because I have issues.
It's okay. I have it on in the background. Did anybody else notice when Robin's motorcycle goes through the door, it makes a fucking Robin symbol?
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Oh, the amount of Looney Tunes sound effects in this is amazing.
Oh, my. It's all about tone, right? And it's all about what you're trying to do. And I think they tried to actively make the movie more kid friendly. I guess I don't know. They tried to make the movie more kid friendly, I guess. And
they did.
I guess they did. I guess their idea of kid friendly is whoop 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 and ding, sound effects. The sound effects and the fact that they're on ice skate, that they're on rollerblades and they're intended to be on ice, and why would that be? And then you read about it and you realize, it's because they made the thing a giant rink, but then they ran out of ice skaters, so they brought in rollerbladers and had to scrap the whole thing. What?
And then it just makes me and now that we're kind of talking about it, it makes me think of Power Rangers, how basically the guys on the things are putties, and Batman and Robin are Power Rangers. The only thing it's missing is combining robots to turn into a Batman. I would like to see that.
I would probably pay money to see that in live action.
You're looking at this all wrong, everybody. It's not like Power Rangers. It's not like anything else we've talked about. It is the original Batman television series.
Oh, for sure.
100%.
Yeah.
It's filmed with angles that are so Dutch, they're planting tulips.
There are a lot of jaunty angles. There are.
Oh, God, yes. You have an outsized female villain who is doing an improbable speech pattern, who is just around to vamp everything up and barely fights. You have, and get this. Okay, this is the biggest. It can't possibly be a joke. It's true 100%, but it is the most amazing thing. In the original series, Mr. Freeze showed up, right? Bald, blue, played by film director and actor Otto Preminger, who was born in Austria. So for this movie, who do they get? A bald blue man who was born in Austria.
Yeah.
All makes sense. I don't mind Schwarzenegger as Mr. Freeze. I actually love him. I don't think that's a bad casting choice. I know people have that's not my problem with this movie. I don't love that every word out of his mouth is a pun. Do we have to have that?
I do.
No.
Of course.
Hell no.
And that's the kind of stuff where it went over the line. Like it went. If Batman Forever was a nice mix. I mean, if Val Kilmer was better in that movie and the actors were better in that movie and it was more of what Schumacher actually wanted to make, that actually would be an objectively better movie as opposed to, for me, just comfort food fun. But that was a fun movie. If Batman Forever is fun, it's madcap, it's wacky, it's got all the silliness. This one just ramps everything up to 15 and it's just so overwhelming and so much. And nobody can say two sentences without some sort of bat quip or ice quip or plant quip. It's extremely frustrating. It's a very frustrating movie to watch for me. Every time
I'm normally not a fan of stuff like this, but I was a fan of all these stupid jokes. Like when he's like, "What are you, Vine Lady? Like Plant Lady?" Like, and it made me laugh. But it's so dumb. You are right, Bill. Like, and I can't believe I'm defending this movie. I can't believe I enjoyed this movie. I mean, I wasn't even drunk. I am a little buzzed at the moment, but I was not under any influence when I watched this movie at all, and I had a great time. And I don't understand how. Or does my cat?
You tell him, Cat. You tell him.
Again, I just think of Will Ferrell at the end of Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, where it's like, I didn't go into movies very much, but I thought Bluntman and Chronic was bluntastic.
Also, funny enough, too, I enjoyed Mr. Kenneth Sanity's talk about the reasoning behind Arnold Schwarzenegger. I'd like to argue that that's not what that was, because God forbid, the bigwigs in suits who create toys for money thought that far ahead. The actual real reasoning why Arnold Schwarzenegger is in this is because for some reason everyone thought that you could be buff and smart and sexy at the same time. I don't know what was up with the 90s in that, because you have this where Arnold Schwarzenegger is Mr. Freeze and he uses diamonds to make his equipment work. You had Mr. Mom where Arnold Schwarzenegger was smart and he impregnated himself. And you have my weirder movie that I watched the other day, and
you're mixing your Batmans. Mr. Mom was Michael Keaton. You're thinking of Junior.
I am thinking of Junior. I apologize. Junior.
Yeah.
And then the even funnier movie where, what was it? I was so stoned I threw up because I was laughing so hard. Was the Twins. I was with my roommate watching Twins for the first time because she's never seen it. And Arnold Schwarzenegger makes his sound every fucking 5 minutes in that fucking movie. that also seems like a cartoon. But I don't know what it was about the 90s. It was just smart, sexy, buff. It could all be in one.
Schwarzenegger worked for me in this. I thought he was hilarious in this, and I don't know why. I enjoyed all the ice puns. I enjoyed the way he presented himself. I just enjoyed all the stupidity, and I'm sitting there thinking to myself, why do you like this, Mike? Why are you laughing? This is stupid. And I laugh some more. I don't know why.
Do you need an actor like Arnold Schwarzenegger in this, though? As I think of someone, no. and I don't know if it was just an actual fact or maybe it was just people discussing it, but Jurassic Park, for example, where it's, well, why would we go after a Stallone or a Schwarzenegger or someone to play Alan Grant when the dinosaurs are what people are here for? We don't need to pay for actors. If you're paying for Arnold Schwarzenegger, but it doesn't, you can get a good comedian and put him in a Mr. Freeze suit. It works just as well. I don't know who it would have been at that time, as you had already, oh God, you went through Jim Carrey, so it probably would have been Adam Sandler or Mike Myers. Those were the only two other.
I would have watched Mike Myers, Mr. Freeze. I'm not gonna lie. That's actually the best fucking sounding idea ever.
It sounds like a great idea.
It probably would have worked, unfortunately.
Well, the only reason he's in this movie is because Joel Schumacher shamed him into being in this movie. He was interviewed in that aforementioned thing I watched, and you were asking him, how did you become Mr. Freeze? And he's like, at first he read the script and he wasn't really into it. But then Joel Schumacher said, and I quote, "I am not making this movie unless you are Mr. Freeze. If you are not Mr. Freeze, I am not making this movie." And he felt bad. He was like, "Oh, well, I don't want the movie to tank and not be made because of me. So fine, I'll be Mr. Freeze."
I bet he regrets that decision.
Well, I doubt it, because he just I think he's the one who went into it probably with the best, not best intentions, but he hams it up. He's having, I think, the best time out of everybody. He had all his rules in place, evidently. I'm only going to work for 4 hours a day or whatever. I'm only working this time of day. Put his rules in place. He got a stack of money because, again, Batman Forever was a huge hit.
Mm-hmm.
I highly doubt Arnold Schwarzenegger regrets his turn as Mr. Freeze, because him and Uma Thurman are having a genuine good time.
And you think about
in their roles.
All these people who are movie stars now, but they were they weren't back then. Like Uma Thurman, yeah, again, right out Pulp Fiction. But George Clooney was still like a TV star. He had done
PR.
Peacemaker.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. It's Peace something with Nicole Kidman, but it wasn't like a big movie.
Peacemaker. Was that before this or after this?
I don't know if it was before or after, but he was like a TV guy, and like Chris O'Donnell wasn't that big either. So like right now we're like, oh man, like George Clooney is huge, but he was just TV George Clooney at this point.
He was ER.
Oh,
Yeah.
this was after From Dusk Till Dawn.
Yep. Good movie.
That is why, again, this is from the vignette. I'll just, since no one else watched it, because no one else had the DVD. I mean, of course, I have to have the movie.
I have the 4K Blu-ray.
Well, the 4K Blu-ray stinks. If it doesn't have this little lovely piece of history on it, of the actors and writers and producers all trying to say very nicely how bad this movie is, released officially by the studio, then you're missing out. That is why that's why Joel Schumacher wanted George Clooney. Actually, everyone on this movie was his first choice, because Joel Schumacher said in the interview that he's very lucky that he gets his first choices usually, because people probably want to work with Joel Schumacher. And again, I don't blame him. But he saw From Dusk Till Dawn and said, okay, that's what I want for Batman. Now, how you connect those two things,
Okay.
I don't know.
I don't know
That's
either.
what he said.
I have a new way to watch From Dusk Till Dawn. Okay. So just watch From Dusk Till Dawn pretending that George Clooney's character is Bruce Wayne in disguise, training to become Batman. All right, cool. That's where we can send it from bats. Perfect. Awesome.
I'm in on that, actually.
George
I like that idea.
Clooney works in this. I do like that the first line you hear George Clooney say is, "This is why Superman doesn't have a sidekick." Like, that's the first thing he says as Batman, or as his character in this movie.
And I wonder if that was like world building, because they were kind of kicking around that Nicolas Cage Superman movie at the time.
Oh yeah, it probably was world building then.
Are you telling me I could have had a
regret that?
Yeah, I do too. Are you telling me I could have had a Batman versus Superman with George Clooney versus fucking Nicolas Cage?
Well, they also wanted Nicolas Cage to be Scarecrow in the next Batman movie. Had there been another one, so
What? God damn it!
That
he was
so good.
He was supposed to be. They wanted to get him in this movie as a teaser in the very end as Scarecrow, but it didn't work out for some reason. But that's good, because we never would have seen that movie. So,
oh God, we were robbed.
The things I would sacrifice baby souls for.
It would be other people's baby souls, because you don't.
I don't have fucking kids.
I know.
It's me, Dr. Jonathan Crane.
Oh fuck!
I love
That
it.
would have been awesome.
I love that. I love that so much.
Is it also weird that they tied Bane's backstory into Poison Ivy's backstory?
Oh fuck me! All right, let's fucking talk
No,
about Bane.
Before we get into
Yeah.
Bane, I want to talk about someone who is in the origin of Bane. Man, John Glover, like, he has danced all over DC cinema. He was Riddler in the animated series. He's in this. He was Lionel Luthor on Smallville,
Yes.
and Shazam! I can't remember the name of the villain. His father in that. He was in that too. Like,
In the Shazam movie?
yeah, he was the villain's bad guy.
Yeah, it was
Savannah Industries.
Savannah.
Yeah, he was his dad.
Oh, it's been a while. I saw it once in theaters.
But
Or
like,
John Glover just being that crazy cartoon Mickey Mouse mad scientist who's also horny for his assistant. I didn't
That's
even
great.
know. I had to rewind it because I didn't even know where they were, what they were doing. Because they
So-
established it's like observatory, but they're in South America, and I had no idea they were in South America.
but
It doesn't
were they
really say a whole
studying
lot.
Spiders.
God damn it! I swear to God, I'm gonna go blow myself up.
I like John Glover was great in this, and that scene when he's trying to sell Bane, it made me laugh when I looked at like the 5 people that are standing up there, because it's like straight from the 90s. You can tell there's like a Russian general. There is somebody from like the Middle East. There's like a
Mussolini's
Korean looking.
there.
It's a real stereotypical rogues gallery.
Oh, God,
wasn't
yes.
there?
Mm.
But it's so much for the 90s. Like, it just fits the 90s. I'm like, this is just hilarious, because this is what would have been like the villains of the 90s.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
And
Here
the
for it.
fact that John Glover's playing Dr. Jason Woodrue, he's playing the goddamn Floronic Man.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my God! As soon as you said Jason Woodrue, I'm like, wait a sec.
didn't
That
realize
clicks. Why is
that.
that clicking?
That's
Yeah, I-
clicking because you finally watched Swamp Thing, didn't you?
No, because I watched that terrible Batman and Harley Quinn movie. You were there,
Yeah.
weren't you?
I know.
I was
But
there.
like,
Were you
Jason
though?
Woodrue is like
Hi.
a Swamp Thing villain. And the fact that we could have had John Glover in a Swamp Thing movie and it didn't happen upsets me so much right now.
That's fair.
And you know what's worse? It would have worked because all they have to do is explain whenever I'll say Harley Quinn, whenever Ivy kisses him and kills him, she dumps all those chemicals on him. Perfect way to start the spinoff.
There you go.
Oh, yeah. Oh, and also the fourth movie would have had Harley Quinn as Joker's daughter had we gotten
Nope.
I heard a lot of ideas. Like, I think one was like they wanted to get everyone back, with the context being like Batman was just gassed by Scarecrow in Arkham Asylum and all of these ghosts were haunting him or something. I think there's so much floating around about what would have been like the fifth Batman movie, but I think we live in a pretty good timeline where this happened, and then we got Batman Begins.
Yeah, now, I'm not upset.
What's more infuriating, having a movie that would have come out with Harley Quinn being Joker's daughter, or the Talia al Ghul twist at the end of the Dark Knight trilogy?
Joker's daughter. Fucking Talia al Ghul doesn't compare.
I have a funny feeling Mr. Albertin's going to make me watch that series as well, and I've not seen the third Dark Knight movie since the theaters. So
Same.
I saw it once and I barely saw it and it was fine.
I'm so ready for it.
But may I ask this of the comic book crowd, because I've been told, and this leads into Bane, which is something you want to talk about, Ken. Isn't Bane supposed to be like, I don't know, like a good character? Like
he's supposed to be a genius,
like an interesting character. They're supposed to be like, isn't he supposed to be like good? Because I've never seen
genius tactician.
Yeah,
okay. His introduction in Nightfall was him basically setting up this elaborate plan to wear down Batman. So basically, he can be like Homer Simpson in that episode of Simpsons to just push him over.
Okay, so he's not a growling monster, or a guy who's talking through a mask. Because why can't we get this right? Because I don't think I don't know the sort. Was he in the animated series? Is there a Bane in the animated series?
Yes.
Is he good in the animated series?
Yes.
Better.
So that just reinforces I need to watch the animated series.
Yeah, like the Bane in the comic books is, he's huge, yes, but he's one of Batman's smartest enemies. It's one of the strongest enemies, like physically strongest enemies. And in this, they have him reduced to bomb. Bomb.
Don't forget monkey business.
Two of those bombs was enough, not 4. Why did you do that? You could cut that. Just maybe one him joke of saying bomb. Okay, I get it. You this ridiculous stalactite or stalagmite, whatever direction it is. Yes, that's the bomb. We get it. Now you say it again. You're going to say it again. Well, the 4th time now you're going to say this. So now we know it's 4 bombs because just again. Just upsetting.
Even weird, Bill, if you want to go by comic book standards at this point, I'm probably wrong, but then again, it's the late 90s, so I'm pretty sure I'm right. This would have been after Nightfall, which is a huge like Batman thing with Bane. And this would have been where, like, in the Batman comics, Bane figures out who Batman is, which is Bruce Wayne. He snaps Batman like a fucking spaghetti twig, and then he's Batman for like a couple months.
So I remember this storyline. I remember that was a big deal. Yeah, I was in high school and I was hanging out a lot at the comic book store, and I remember that was a big deal storyline. So this is the same era?
Yep.
This Bane is the same era as Backsnapper? Wow.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Crazy. That is wild.
It's funny going through all of these stories, and all of my Banes have been, because you mentioned him cracking like spaghetti, and I think of the Robot Chicken sketches.
That's exactly what I'm referring to. Thank you.
The Talia al Ghul sketches, and I think of the Bad Man sketches from College Humor. That one is so funny.
This was actually like 3 years after Nightfall, so...
Oh, it wasn't even far. They had
This was fresh in people's minds, so to see this was an insult. And Bane is one of the rare Latin comic book characters that we have in this era. And to have him reduced to that, it's insulting.
After that guy died shortly after filming this, too, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
Oh, it was August. Yeah,
Yep.
Jeep Swinson.
Yep.
Yeah, he died August 18th, so like 2 or 3 months after this came out.
Wow, that's sad.
And everybody said he was a really good guy, just heart problems, which, you know,
Steroids, I'm assuming.
pro wrestlers, you know, you make your assumptions, but
It's a hard life, I think.
Yeah, it's a hard life. Go watch The Wrestler if you haven't yet.
There's a documentary. Is that the one you're talking about? Or no, you're talking about the
no,
movie,
I'm talking about the Darren Aronofsky. No.
There's
Was it Aronofsky?
I don't know, but there's a
That's Aronofsky.
documentary on Netflix about Al Snow and the wrestling company he runs.
Yeah.
That's really damn good. I can't remember what the hell it's called, but if you Google Al Snow wrestling documentary, you'll find it.
Yeah, Al Snow's a cool guy. I actually got to meet him.
Oh, that is cool. I'm not surprised anymore when the things you say.
The
Met a
wrestler
wrestling
is,
show in Kenosha.
and I don't know anything about wrestling, but I will say I think The Wrestler might be Aronofsky's best movie. Way up there.
It really is. Like, it's super good. And that show is creatively called Wrestlers on Netflix.
Speaking of villains, something I love about watching movies from this era is that now, to an extent, people are pushing environmental messages and basically being like, we can't kill this planet we live on. And then I watched Armageddon for some unknown reason last year, and it's look at us hitting the golf balls at Greenpeace. Like, we're just the blue-collar oil workers. And then in this, she hands a proposal to Bruce Wayne, and Bruce Wayne's thing is, well, if we save all these plants, then we won't have any diesel or coolants, and people will starve to death. And I was like,
oh my God.
Yeah, I was like, what?
People, I think the line is people come first, I think.
Yes, that's the line.
Yeah. Cool.
But now it would be profits come first.
Yes, of course. Always.
Oh, but
don't besmirch Armageddon. Do not besmirch that
Never seen it.
fine, ridiculous movie.
Oh, I fucking love that movie so
I love that movie so much.
I've never seen that movie all the way through. I've only seen part of the end.
It's so stupid and so good though. But here's the thing though. Okay, I'm glad this came up because that's an example of dumb but good. See that if you say Armageddon is great because it's charming, has personality. That song notwithstanding, the song is god awful.
I was hoping you keep going so I can sing it while you're talking about how good that movie is.
Yeah, well, listen. I can separate the good from the bad. That song is it's not. But
how dare you?
Yeah, no. But anyway, Armageddon is charming and silly and stupid and fun, but at least there's a little bit of grounding, as much as you can expect from oil drillers drilling a hole into an asteroid. Doing spacewalking stuff. I can't put Batman and Robin in the same category as Armageddon. Like I can't, because I think that's kind of some of the arguments you guys are making on our messenger was like, this is kind of charming. I kind of like this. That's the kind. When I think of bad charming, I think of Armageddon. That's my limit.
See, I was thinking, it's funny because you were going to go to the Con Air song, and I was thinking of 1997 and then Excellent Schlock, and then I was thinking of Con Air. And I nearly started singing the song from Con Air, which isn't the song from Armageddon. And boy, I think I got to watch Con Air tomorrow. God, I love that movie so much.
Con Air is so good.
Con Air's great.
Movie.
Con Air's great.
Just another month of just brilliant shit. We should do that.
You know what though? I really watched Con Air recently, so now it's time to watch Armageddon. Thank you, Bill.
Has there been a Nicolas Cage month on this show?
No, there hasn't even been a Nicolas Cage movie, I don't think, on this show.
What?
Yeah.
I've been trying.
For just as little as $1, you can go on Patreon and vote for Nicolas
Bug
Cage.
Mike.
Yeah, really.
You can join the Discord, Bug Mike, for free. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, there you go. Bug Mike for free. There's a special movie channel on there. Everybody just dogpile. It'll be fun.
Hey, we're probably doing
Mike
Surf
do it.
Ninjas because you guys voted for that crap. So.
Yeah, Surf Ninjas.
It hasn't won yet, but
Ninjas,
it's winning.
not Con Air. If you vote Con Air on this show, I will be a Cameron Poe for Halloween, and I will post pictures. I will get the most ridiculous Nicolas Cage wig and get a pink bunny and carry it around with me all Halloween.
Well,
Are you telling me I have to tie a yellow ribbon around my old oak tree to welcome you home, Blair?
Put the bunny back in the bag.
I must say, I'm so happy that we are now talking about Nicolas Cage. This is what Batman and Robin does. It forces your mind forces you to good things like Nicolas Cage. So here's the question before we get off of this and go back to this godforsaken movie. What would, Mr. Sanity, what would be the 4 movies you feature on Nicolas Cage? Nicolas Cage November. Nick Cage November. What are the 4 movies that you feature on Nick Cage November?
Con Air.
Con Air has to be one of them.
The Rock?
That's a good movie.
NT1,
No, I don't. That's good, but I don't know.
Sucker Punch.
Face Off.
I would do Face Off before The Rock.
Oh,
Face
we're talking
Off,
about
yeah,
Nicolas
me
Cage.
too.
I think you're
Vampire's
all forgetting
Kiss.
that Armageddon is in the Criterion Collection.
It is. Oh, yes, it is. Of course it is. Because the Criterion team knows quality when they see it. Understand that these films need to be preserved in their original form. It is a Criterion movie, damn it.
Yeah, I wasn't kidding.
I know you were. I remember. I've never seen that. I think I might have the Criterion version rattling around somewhere. Anyway, we should get back to Batman and Robin. We can game plan other.
To go back to the Bane thing. The sad thing is, this is a more, at least the origin is more accurate to Bane than what we get in that movie. I'm pretty sure.
You mean where
Dark
Bane
Knight Rises?
Well, they have like the Venom and
Yeah, I mean, and the one thing that made me laugh a lot in this movie is when Batgirl and Robin fight Bane and they just knock the pipe off the back of him like instantly. And I'm like, I'm sorry, it's not how it works. You have to have him run into the wall 3 times and then try to get the pipe off him. It takes a little bit, guys. Come on now. That's what went through my head when I watched that part. I'm like, can't be that instantly, guys. Like, not how this works.
I mean, we can jump around this entire movie, but there's a line at the end delivered by Alicia Silverstone, and it's not her fault, but it just gave me vibes of Resident Evil 1. Because say what you will about the Green Lantern movie,
And
but I love
like that
when
movie.
he shows up and he goes like Blake Lively, and she's like, "You're Hal Jordan," and he's like, "Oh, I got the mask on." It's like, "I've seen you naked. I know what your cheekbones look like," and like she's there. And she shouts at Batman and is like, "It's me, Bruce." And I was like, "Is that you, Rebecca?" Like, it was that entire exchange from Resident Evil 1. And I was like, how do you not know who this is? Also, like, the security system in the Batcave is an AI video of Bruce Wayne's butler. Like, it's so crazy. That's like...
I programmed myself.
Bruce Wayne's butler, what are you doing down here? He's a pretty cool guy.
Alfred has been a menace for 4 movies at this point.
This is the only Alfred, I think, who actually wants Bruce Wayne to be Batman and actually wants to be a superhero with him.
Yeah, so strange. I was never there with you, sir. I'm like, what?
The rest of them are just like, I want you to stop being Batman and have a family. Like, stop being a lunatic. And this one's like, oh, I can't wait to sew up your bullet hole, sir.
and correct me if I'm wrong, but there's that whole side thing where Alfred is trying to find his brother. Is his brother's name really Wilfred? Is Alfred's brother's name Wilfred?
I think so.
I heard it today, and I heard it twice, and I don't think my ears would have deceived me twice. I believe in this movie, at least, I don't know if that's like canon or anything else, Alfred's brother is Wilfred, which means his parents named them Alfred and Wilfred, which could be the stupidest thing in a long litany of stupid
Fucking
things.
hated them.
They must have absolutely loathed them. That's like 2 steps below, like keeping him in a cage in the attic, away from the rest of the family. That's like,
I didn't understand the point of that. Like, he's sending the brother information about Batman? Is that what he was up to? Because in that little DVD, it's not the thing that where Batgirl finds out all the information about them.
Right. That's how she finds out. She guesses in the only password. I guess in those days you could have a password. Did the password field ever show you the password? Was that ever a thing on the internet? I don't think so.
It also like cut out after like, man, if I don't like get my iPhone thing in my 3 tries, it's like your phone will self-destruct in 5 seconds.
Yeah, seriously.
So here's where you guys don't get. Alfred's the smartest motherfucker in this movie.
I thought he was sending research to his brother about his like movie sickness.
Yeah. No, it's a test.
No.
It's a test for It's a test for Batgirl because
of course it is.
Yeah, he leaves clues around because there's no. Oh, hello, niece. How are you here? I sure want to tell you about all the secret info I'm sending to my brother in this case right here. Did I mention how much I love your mother, who was my favorite sister and only sister? And what was her name that I gave her? That's right, it was Peg. Oh, how I loved you, Peg. If you don't figure this out, you're not going to be on the team.
If this is like, if this was in a Zelda game, all of those words would be highlighted in red.
Press the A button to open.
It would be like
and
blah,
examine.
blah, 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 Margaret, blah, 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 Peg, blah, 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 disc in my drawer, blah, blah, blah.
Everybody, don't forget to press X to peg. Oh, wait. That's arguably a better game.
And not long after that, they did do the Joel Schumacher joke on Batman the Animated Series.
This was what?
Well, they had the anthology episode, and it was the kids telling their different stories about Batman. And one kid was like, oh, my dad was like a night guardsman at a music store, and it was like the Silver Age Batman where there's like a giant oversized piano and things like that. And one kid's like, oh, I heard Batman is like this guy with a giant tank, and it's The Dark Knight Returns. And then a kid shows up and throws a pink scarf around his shoulder, and he's like, oh, I heard Batman is like real flashy with like hard rubber suits. And they're just like, shut up, Joel. And they walk away.
That's funny.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah.
I want to watch this now. But no, I actually didn't hate Bane in this. Besides him being a fucking dumbass, I like the way he looks, and I like the fact they did the Venom.
I can't co-sign it. I can't. What I can co-sign is the fact that Poison Ivy is literally a ripoff of Catwoman from Batman Returns.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They were in the video I was watching. He even pointed out all the similarities between the two.
Yeah.
I don't even get their plan. So she's horny for a guy who can only live in perpetual winter. And she loves nature, but she wants to kill everyone to reset everything. But that also means killing all the plants on the earth.
Plants can survive the ice age for some reason.
Okay,
Yeah,
see,
Like Blair, most of us live in the north. You know how it is in the north. Like when it's winter, we have all these plants sprouting out of the snow.
I mean, after it snows, goddammit.
Well, we do now. Thanks.
Hey,
But-
people come first.
Okay, so look at it though. Mr. Freeze rebuilds the ice caps. Poison Ivy brings back all the plants. The two of them together really will fix the world if we let them.
And she's going to bang him. But then it's just like, you're really going to jump on that icy thing?
6
Hey,
inches
like-
off.
Bella slept with the Twilight vampire 4 movies worth and had a kid, and he was dead and cold. So hey,
Okay.
Look, it's Arnold Schwarzenegger. He is fucking 7 feet tall, fucking 6-pack, bald as hell, big, bald, and blue. And he's probably like 6 inches soft. So you know what, though? At the end of the day, I get it, girl.
I get it too, but like, geez, like I like crawl in bed at night and like I feel cold feet on my leg, and I'm just like, I'm just gonna go over here.
I don't know, but I don't know.
I love horny Uma Thurman in this. Like one part that was hilarious is the fact that like somehow Batman just recorded the conversation between those two when she's talking to him. She's like, "I killed him." I can't do it. I cannot do the accent. I'm in some other accent. But when she kills his wife and she's like, telling him, and he just recorded it so he could play it for Mr. Freeze.
And Batman's just like, we just plugged her back in. She's fine.
I absolutely
We kept the
love
fridge door closed.
that Batman somehow managed to film the exact same camera angle that the movie was shooting.
Strange, huh?
That was pretty cool. So is Batman shooting this whole movie? That's the question we need to ask ourselves.
And it's so crazy. Like, I think Batman has so little presence in this movie. And I think that's what everyone gravitated towards when they made these films. Like, Tim Burton, I think, had more interest in exploring the villains than Batman. And he feels like he has so little to do, whether it's Bruce Wayne. And they introduced like Elle Macpherson as this love interest who's like, oh yeah, I can wait for you and whatever. And it's like the most understanding like movie girlfriend since Mia Toretto. Like, it's...
Never watched one of those movies.
Oh, another scene that I want to bring up that's so stupid, but it has to be mentioned, is when you get to the biker scene when you find out that Batgirl's been stealing the bike and she's going out to these races and she's going out to the second one. If you watch the scene closely, you see these different gangs that look like they're right out from the Warriors movie from the 70s. And there is a gang there that is wearing black bowler hats and all white suits with canes and all.
They're the Droogs from Clockwork Orange.
Yes.
Yeah, they are the Droogs.
Yeah,
Why the
those
fuck
are.
are they here? I'm like, I caught it my second time watching this. I'm like, wait a second.
Because Warner Brothers probably owns the rights to that, and they'll probably be in multiverses this year.
Why were they in the new Space Jam movie? Who knows?
Oh, right,
But
I
they
forgot
were.
about that. Was it
Wow.
Space Jam or Ready Player One or both?
Both.
Honestly, I think it was both. I know they were in Space Jam, and I remember saying, "Really? This is a child's movie."
Something I absolutely loved about this movie that's it just because you kind of have the vibe with the cartoonishness of it, but something. So they set this trap for Mr. Freeze, and it's like his suit is powered by diamonds, like the lasers in the diamonds power his freeze suit, whatever.
Which makes no sense.
That's fine. I don't care. It's movie logic. He has to steal diamonds, bank robberies, action scenes. So their plan is we're going to auction off this diamond and we're going to have Batman and Robin there to catch him. But okay, so this is a public event. So it's probably in the newspapers. It's probably on TV. Oh, tonight at the museum, Batman and Robin are going to be here as they auction off this thing. That's a cue for every criminal in Gotham City to go on a crime spree.
Okay,
That's so accurate.
Yeah.
Very accurate.
You
It's
gotta
like,
remember,
no.
there's only 2 villains per movie. So, there weren't anyone else around right now to go on a crime spree.
Except for like everyone ripping off a convenience store. Like they know. It's like, oh, where's Batman? It's like, oh, he's here. It's like, no, you auction out this thing and then you case the joint with binoculars from a building over. Like this, it's so dumb.
Like, they're not even bidding on the diamond. They're just bidding on the women.
Which is also extraordinarily bizarre and strange. It's like, what do you people think is going to happen
And
for your 50 grand?
One of those guys in that crowd is the guy who gets Norman Osborn out of Oscorp in Spider-Man 1. I loved it.
That's funny. That whole
also-
scene is very odd. Again, that's another
Mhm.
good example of this movie being very not just over the top, but overstimulating. Where I'm just like, there's too many things on the screen at once. You're giving me a migraine. Like, it's giving me a migraine movie. There's way too much stuff going on, and I don't understand how Uma Thurman was able to like get that all choreographed. Like, was she part of the show? Like, did she like sign up to be one of the people? Like, everyone just knew. The very oiled men all knew to like kneel down and walk. It just, I don't know. It
Well,
went on
very-
forever.
Very
went on
racially sensitive jungle scene.
Yes,
Oh,
exactly.
God.
Yeah.
And the way
exactly.
the strip tease she does, I was like, I'm on board.
It's like, oh boy, the big hairy gorilla outfit looks like something from the Mighty Boosh.
And it takes forever that this moment. I don't know.
One could say it takes Batman forever.
Hey-o! No. I'm gonna give you a clap.
No, it was bad. I should not be applauded. Stop it. Do not encourage me.
It was funny.
So
It was bad, but it was funny.
I have two jokes to make fun of, bouncing off what
2
Blair
jokes,
said.
bitch.
Yeah, two jokes, bitches.
Fuck.
That and I'm gonna bounce off what Blair said earlier. I don't know why you're surprised Batman's at a public event. Ever since the last movie, it's revealed Batman likes to sit on in his own court cases and go to the stand and be a witness, which
Yeah.
is like super illegal. But I like to think there's this kid's cartoon where something like that happens, where the girl's a superhero and she's waiting for like a TV special movie for a show. I just picture Batman going on the nose going, all right, guys, I'm going to an event tonight. Nobody do anything, because if you do and you just see him pull out a batarang and like throw it at a watermelon and it explodes and he goes, I will kill you. Everyone have a good night.
I'd buy it.
Yeah, totally. Well, yeah, Batman, it does like going to events in costume. It's fine. I mean, wouldn't you?
Hey,
And-
don't worry. In this movie, that batarang, it would be 3 different batarangs depending on who threw it. We had Batgirl batarangs, Robin batarangs, and Batman batarang.
And don't forget your batarang with everyone's favorite accessory. Everybody say it with me. The Bat credit card. That's right. This movie's fucking
It wasn't that
stupid.
bad.
No,
Funny.
Mike.
Mike, I draw the line sometimes.
We're
That's
not
why I drew the
defending
line.
this.
I will
Okay,
not
maybe it's the
give
bottle of
power
wine I
to
drank
this.
talking, but I was very amused by that Batman credit card this
I
time.
will not give power to Doug Walker. I refuse to talk about the Bat credit card.
I unfortunately
Yeah.
know what you're talking about.
Yes.
We all know what you're talking
Please,
about.
please don't invoke the name of the. Please don't invoke that name, okay? Yeah, that's. But Mike, what I said earlier about bad things can just be bad. That's bad.
This is one of them.
That's
It's
bad.
so stupid.
No. It's bad. It's stupid. It's stupid, and it's bad.
They
But
keep
it's
trying to
something
put
that
this,
would have been in the 66 show, I feel. Or the 60s show.
this
No.
artificial. Oh, okay. I don't even know where to start in my thoughts as I keep jumping around all over the place. Like this
Welcome to Batman and Robin.
artificial rift between Batman where he just like, no, Robin, you're going to screw up when he could have easily, say, like made the jump. The second the Batmobile showed up, I'm like, okay, that looks cool. So he's driving this Batmobile that has like a jet engine in the back and it has no windshield and no cover. Like he's sitting there driving and he's playing that video from Commissioner Gordon. He's like, oh, Mr. Freeze is attacking the thing. In Batman's ears, all he's hearing is like that's it. That's all he's hearing. And his like head should be like, you know, he should have goggles on or something. Like I don't know. Who here has seen Crank 2?
I've never seen any of those movies.
I've
I
never
lost
seen
kind of like an oldie time, like an oldie time car, you know, driver, you know, puts the goggles on, a little neckerchief flapping in the breeze. Yeah, and I will remember, Blair. That's where you put the action figure in on the toy. So you have to have that big opening
Yeah.
because that's where we put the little figures in that you buy. That's why you need that.
I had the Batmobile from Batman Returns for Christmas in 1992, where the Batmobile had a convenient thing where you lifted it up and put in Batman and then closed it.
Yes, but we got to sell you a new toy, so we got to come up with some new ideas to sell you a new toy.
Except they repainted the Batman Forever Batcave multiple times. Or no, the Batman Returns one. I've seen it repainted and sold for different brands.
Welcome to toys.
Yeah, I thought you were going to say, Blair, at the beginning of the movie, the first fucking line for this movie is, I want a car. Because one of the big issues about this movie is they keep trying to show off that, like, Chris O'Donnell's supposed to be like a fucking 17-year-old kid in the body of like a 30-year-old man. And
I was so sad that I wasn't there for like the Batman Forever discussion where Riddler's like, oh, one day he wants to touch a girl. I'm like, he is 30. He has
It's 2 kids.
Yeah, he's 30. He looks like Chris O'Donnell.
Yeah,
he
it's like,
fucks.
I'm a virgin who's never touched a boob before. It's like, dude, you're 25. If you look like that and haven't done that, you have a problem, or you're probably gay.
His first scene in his like first scene in the movie, besides the Flying Grayson scene, is he steals the Batmobile to go look for hookers. So I mean,
May I say how charming it was that you just called them hookers?
Hookers.
Very charming. I don't know. Hookers. Well done.
That's amazing.
That edibles
Always
kicking in.
chastising Robin for like just doing his job. It's like, oh, I can't believe you did this. It's like, what saved you? And it's like, oh, you can't make this jump on your motorcycle. It's like, I'll probably make this on my motorcycle before you make it in your car.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's like if
in
you
your stylized rocket tank. Yeah.
if you shut it down, he's more likely to slide off the hand than what he is to lose the jump.
As we see, because he almost just slides off the hand. Hey, asshole! Thanks for completely removing. Thank you for completely removing all maneuverability from my vehicle. Thanks. That's great.
I mean, the
going 100
only
miles an hour.
point of that scene too is just to show the distrust between them, to play up on the whole fact that Uma Thurman's like, I want the old man with experience, but I don't need that geriatric bat. I'll take the young man with endurance and stamina, which are the same thing, but they sound sexy when I put both of them together. Like, I kind of love this part, by the way.
I love the Batgirl message where I think it's supposed to be the contrast between the villain, the heroine, and the villainess, where Batgirl's like, you're just using your feminine wiles to get what you want. But also, like, Alfred designs this Batgirl suit that has like a corset built into it and like gives her heels.
Yeah.
So it's like, so if you're going around Ace Chemicals, that thing is definitely, those shoes are definitely slipping through a grate and she's breaking an ankle.
Oh, hell yeah. OSHA
Where it's
wants
like,
several
okay,
words.
This is a stealth mission now, Barbara. So like we have to be quiet, like click, 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 click. Oh, son of a bitch again. Why'd you wear the heels?
It's weird. Like, why are you but I guess it's just the thing. You got to give the female hero heels for some reason. I like your outfit, but it was weird that it's designed by your uncle. That is strange. Because it's
neat,
very
Bruce.
sexy outfit.
I really don't like the way Alicia Silverstone says Uncle Alfred in this movie like 70 goddamn times.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little creepy.
It's
About
because
that.
she's also supposed to be 12 for some dumb fucking reason.
And the
Yes.
Remember, She goes to an all-girls academy with a uniform. I'm doing the hand thing. You can't see it, but I'm doing it.
Okay.
Yeah, that kind of got me confused too. I'm like, what the fuck? Like,
Where she majors in computer science at her all-girls academy. What?
Why not?
I thought it was
again,
more like university. I thought
that's kind of how I.
she wants to emancipate her uncle.
Then why does anybody care that she leaves to ride on motorcycles? Like she's a grown woman. Let her tango with Coolio by all means. What's
why
the
is
problem?
Coolio in this movie?
Why the fuck?
Why not?
Coolio.
Why not?
I know you're not
There's a better
talking
reason
shit
why
about
not,
Coolio.
but it just and also that scene made me think of Fast and the Furious so much. Just did. I mean, I know Coolio's not in Fast and Furious. It's Ja Rule, right? It's been a while.
Ludicrous.
Ludicrous. Wow.
No,
Can you tell
Jaws and-
someone didn't listen to 90s rap at all?
Jaws in the first Fast and the Furious.
Oh yeah.
Because if
Okay,
you
so
win,
I'll
you
say-
get her too. Monica, no.
Oh yeah.
No idea what either you're talking about.
I unfortunately know exactly what if they're having a
So-
race and yeah.
To not get off topic even more. So they have a race and Ja Rule gets a hot girl, but if he wins, he gets another hot girl, but then he loses and gets nothing. And then there's some lines exchanged that I can't say because I'm white and I won't say it.
Yes.
Fair.
But I do remember the Monica when he gets past. I do remember that.
Sadly, Ja Rule ends up with no hot girl.
Could've had
That
one
first
guy.
movie is something else, but we're not here for that.
Can we? That movie is
Just shit gears.
Actually, Tokyo Drift was almost on this show once, by the way.
Tokyo Drift should be on this show because that's the best fucking one.
So,
Don't
it was
add
almost
me.
on the
I don't
show.
give a shit.
1 and 3. I love 1.
I like one too. I like how they steal VCRs. That's-
Do a double feature, do Point Break and Fast and Furious 1 at the same time.
Oh my god, the world's not ready.
I'm not.
Yeah,
ready
you'll
for
cause
that.
a rift in the time-space continuum with that one. That's not happening.
That's actually plausible.
I just find it weird in these Batman movies that like so many actors change, so the couple that stay the same just seems weird to me. Like how Commissioner Gordon never changes.
Commissioner Gordon in this movie and all the other movies where he is absolutely fucking useless.
He's
He's
useless in
just
this movie too.
He's just a big fat guy who does a paycheck, like most cops. So it's whatever.
Whoa.
Commissioner Gordon might as well be like
Shots fired.
he might as well be like Bulk from Power Rangers, like in his level of effectiveness. This is
Okay.
like I watched the Lego Batman movie, and the Commissioner Gordon's like, "Oh yeah, what do you do?" It's like, "Well, we just throw the bat symbol, and Batman takes care of it. And we don't have to do anything."
So that also plays into my theory that this movie is the 60s Batman show because it's not Commissioner Gordon anymore. That's Commissioner Kelly from the show. Like all he did is go on and do his Irish cop. Oh, Batman, the Joker's getting away. Oh, don't you know? Oh, hoity toity toity. And like, that's all he did. And he's dressed exactly like Gordon is in this movie. Like the outfit is the same.
It really feels like the 60s. I mean, the way Uma Thurman's hair is for Poison Ivy, that feels like something you would have seen in a 60s show.
Oh, yeah.
You want to talk about
Everything just has that feel to it, which again, I feel like Joe Schumacher was told you need to make this movie. Well, I know he was told make this movie more family friendly, more kiddish, and he did. He made it like the 60s show.
Except he made it horny as fuck.
Well, you're
Yeah,
also
he
missing.
did.
You're also missing two of my favorite points, which also prove this is also like a 60 movie. One, I can't believe that they put fucking Mr. Freeze in a fucking goddamn fridge to escort him into Arkham Asylum.
That made me laugh. That was one of the few genuine laughs I had where I was like, "Oh, that's so stupid as fun."
And
I
That
like
was
that
stupid.
one too.
I had a good chuckle at that one.
And they basically just go, hey, we're going to put you in a room where it's barely cold. It's like, oh, cool. What are you going to do next? Just take a guy who's supposed to be in a wheelchair and take away his wheelchair? Like, what the fuck, you guys? It's not like Mr. Freeze is super strong. Like, he had a super suit. So having his room a normal temperature wouldn't kill you guys. But then you have him in like this big oversized, like stripe pattern fucking jail outfit, which is from the 60s. And then right after that, you have Bane dressed like a fucking Ninja Turtle.
I love how when Bane is walking around in that trench coat and that hat, that's straight up
Silly.
that is straight up the 90s Turtles movie.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
very silly. Very, very.
And there's one part when he breaks into the Turkish bathhouse and he just from one scene he has his outfit, he has the coat on, the hat on. The next scene, once he breaks through the doors, all of a sudden he lost his coat and everything, and he's just, he lost his clothes.
Wardrobe wardrobe couldn't find it.
I want to get into the finale so bad talking about wardrobe changes.
Oh, let's do it.
Let's do it.
Can
I
we?
think.
Can we
yeah.
please?
Yeah,
Yes,
okay.
yes.
So Oh man, this because they have like Bruce Wayne has an observatory where he can basically spy on the entire world using satellites, or redirect the sun. So Mr. Freeze is going to use his super freeze ray to freeze Gotham, but there's like a very strict time limit. So him and Robin go to confront Poison Ivy, and then Batgirl shows up, and in her first outfit designed by her uncle, and it's like, we only have so much time to save Gotham. Cut to all three of them in new suits and new vehicles. Okay, I can see where Batman and Robin have new suits. Where did they design a new suit for Batgirl, or are we just going by the fact that Alfred probably designed her multiple suits as she knew that's what Batman always has?
I would say yeah.
Yes, but also, how did he know all her sizes like that?
You don't want the answer to that.
And
Okay.
Let's leave that lore alone.
what I love, I mean, we'll talk about the finale some more, but so Batman and Robin are in their normal suits, then they're in their finale new action figure, new vehicle suits.
Ice Brigade,
But
Batman,
then
and
when
Robin.
they go to give Alfred his movie cure, Bruce and Barbara are in sweats, and Robin is wearing the top of the first Robin suit.
Yeah,
So they dressed down, and Robin went and put on his old costume? Which makes me think they redid that entire finale.
I would put money on that only because I have two things that would back you up on that, right? So later in the scene, whenever they're wearing their Ice Brigade, Batman, Robin, and Batgirl suit, you see Batgirl. It looks like she takes off a Batman mask. And
Yeah, she has a cowl.
Yeah, and I think that was that. I guess I want to say maybe they filmed the finale with her wearing one, and they didn't like it, and they cut it. And I know it's a thing where it's like, well, maybe that was an Easter egg. It's not an Easter egg because whenever the weird robot Alfred is talking to her, he puts like a silhouette of her inside of a Batman suit, and you can see the ears.
What the
And we're
fuck even
speechless
is
on
this?
This is a
You're saying
strange,
that
strange
an hour
movie.
and a half in.
This is
Hey.
one of the weirder movies we've done on the podcast, by the way. It is.
Like I
It's the weirdest Batman, for sure. Hands down, that we've done.
But like everything about this movie is patently ridiculous. Like there is the story makes zero sense. The ending, 0 sense. That's not how satellites work.
I wouldn't even say there is a story. There's just a bunch of things that are cut together that make a motion picture. Like, there's no through line. Even, like, for Poison Ivy to get to Gotham, it's like, how did she get there? Oh, there's a vial that says Wayne Enterprises. Like, I should go there
Hey,
to
at
put
least
her in Gotham.
she didn't panhandle from Brazil and end up in America, so we're okay. One person got that joke.
Oh, I got it. I have no problem with that because you get to hear the sad Hulk music.
But yeah, you are right. Like, she just, all because she saw a bottle, even though it's like, they were working for him for a while. You think he, at some point, he would have said the name of of their benefactor at some point.
I've just watched so much of Batman the Animated Series lately where every Poison Ivy episode is,
Good.
I mean, she's right. But then there's one episode where they find out that like Wayne Enterprises is doing like a slash and burn thing in the Amazon, and Bruce Wayne's like, shut it down. Like, I will go down there and shut it down if I have to. And here he's just like, I don't care about the plants. We need diesel for cars and coolants for fridges for TV dinners or whatever. Like,
Yeah, it's some stupid stuff. But it
Yeah.
also fits very much of what the 90s mentality would have been towards more of a green earth at this time, too.
No, because back then they were kooks, I believe is the affectionate term for them.
I mean, there's still a lot of people that would call that kooks, but yes.
the man you knew as wavy gravy has not been me. And all this time I've been smoking harmless tobacco.
I think the other weird part of this movie too is I skimmed over it a little bit, but the whole situational thing of Robin and Batman having a bunch of issues and going at each other's throats. I think even like in the finale too, there's like a Robin signal, and I guess Robin's still like huffing like the paint, and he's like, "That's a Robin signal. She's doing it out of love." And it's like, why is Bruce okay? But then like Dick is just like, "Oh yeah, she loves me. She loves me, dog. I'll go out there." And fully honestly, when I think about it, it's weird seeing it come from Chris O'Donnell, and it's not his fault. It's, you know, the big wigs who rewrote this movie to fit their weird info. I totally see like a 12-year-old saying that. But having like a 30-year-old Chris O'Donnell say it, it's really fucking weird.
Yeah. But at the same time, he's not under her spell because he puts on the rubber lip.
Yeah, it would have really been weird to have like a 12-year-old Macaulay Culkin in bed with like a 30-year-old Uma Thurman.
That would have been bizarre.
It's just weird. I don't know. I mean, it doesn't. There's also one part that really bothered me. This is stupid, but like when you have George Clooney, Batman, or Bruce Wayne talking to the woman that he's dating that all of a sudden appeared in this movie, and all of a sudden she's like, "Why'd you call me Ivy?" He doesn't say a fucking word. Yes, he sees Ivy, but he doesn't say a word. And I'm like, oh, did I miss it? Was I playing too much Marvel Snap while this is happening? And I went and rewatched the movie. I'm like, no, he doesn't say it. Like, they couldn't even edit in him just going Ivy instead of saying her name. Like, would it have been that hard?
Yeah, it seems like she has to keep doing it. Because, I mean, oh my god, the amount of times that Uma Thurman blows her like hypnotic dust. You get drunk if you took a shot every time you did it. And then hours later, like, oh, he's fine, but then he lets it slip. But Robin is still infatuated because he's younger. Like, even just like one scene where the back computer just like picking at something. Like, Batman the Animated Series was happening at the same time. Just go get those guys.
Mm-hmm.
Another dumb thing about the finale is when they're moving the telescope, those two people are just hanging on the outside of the telescope, about to die while he's moving it around, trying to get it lined up right to save the city. Don't forget that part. Because we only had 11 minutes to defrost people because that's what Mr. Freeze said.
Like, they bother me.
We had plenty of time, but we had to go home and like change our suits. But there isn't even like, because in like Batman Forever, they had a reason because he blew up the Batcave, and it's like the only suit I have available is this one. It's not like, okay, well, if we're gonna go Freeze, like we have to go get, there's a Wayne Enterprises stash somewhere, and it has the anti-freeze suits or something. Like, it's just new toys. Like, there's no logic given to why they suddenly have the white suits.
I really would have rather just had a Batman action figure with, like, you know, a scarf. That would have been great. Like, a nice, comfy scarf.
It's like mittens.
Yeah.
You know what's a weirder thing too? And it's even weirder because none of us have made a single bitch about it. Is it weird that they made Batgirl Alfred's like niece and her name's still Barbara?
Don't like it.
I think it's an easy way to get that into the movie because Commissioner Gordon isn't a character in these things.
Yeah.
Right.
It's you can't get I don't know. It's fine. It's okay. They had to change this, but it's still a person named Barbara in a Batgirl suit.
Her and Bruce are technically cousins. I mean,
Well, I mean, no, but kinda. Like, I don't know.
Ken's just sad.
I kind of am because, like, that didn't need to happen. Like, if you're not gonna, there are other Batgirls by this point in history. Like, you could have picked any of them.
But not as known as Barbara.
Barbara Gordon is known.
Yeah.
Who the fuck is Barbara Alfred? I don't remember her last name.
Pennyworth.
No, it wasn't even Pennyworth. It was something stupid. Like, it wasn't even Pennyworth.
I don't even remember they say it.
It was Barbara Gordon on the 60s show, right?
Yeah. Oh.
I don't know.
Oh. Ken?
I don't remember.
And I know it was Barbara Gordon in BTAS.
It's Barbara Wilson.
Oh.
I'm okay with Batgirl being in this because, like, they were trying to do different things, but at the same time, it really feels like they were trying to sell toys. But yeah.
Well, it's just, what do? You have to keep adding.
You got to make it fresh, I guess.
I guess it's just buckling under its own weight because they see, you have Batman 89, which was the excellent movie with a phenomenal marketing campaign. Then Batman Returns, also a great movie, but didn't work with the Happy Meals and the like combos they had at McDonald's. Then Batman Forever, it's the sliders going a little bit down. Like, you still have a somewhat competent movie with a through line that you can also sell excellent glasses at McDonald's. And this is just all the way down where this is a product. Like it's a miracle that any movie gets made, like especially ones at this level.
Yeah.
But you can tell that the narrative was just lost from like day one, where it's like we have to rush. Batman Forever made a lot of money. We need a sequel right now.
And it really does feel like that.
Yeah, it does.
Mhm.
Like the more they change, the more they stay the same.
So are we all now on board with this not being the fun charm movie we talked about? Yeah, in
No,
in
I
our
thought
in our AOL Messenger thing, whatever it is that we're on.
No, I still had fun.
I was
That's fine.
keeping
Damn it.
quiet because I wanted to save it for the mic, but I don't know. I was kind of bored. I was looking forward to watching it, and I turned it on, and I like the set design, and I like some of the toys and the vehicles, but there's just. And I watch it by myself, and this is a movie where you get a bunch of people over, and you watch it, and you rip on it, and you have jokes like we're doing right now. Like, this is one of those movies.
yes.
But when you're just kind of sitting down and watching it by yourself with like a bag of sour cream and onion chips, you're going to pick up your phone a lot.
I mean, I picked up my phone. I was editing while watching this movie because I needed to edit, and I was still enjoying it myself. I mean, it wasn't as like Indiana Jones where I had to stop editing if I couldn't stop watching the movie or Silence of the Lambs. I mean, nowhere on that level of greatness, but I had fun. Oh, but since you brought up the architecture of this city, like I always kept thinking about the fact you guys told me that Joe Schumacher is gay, and in this, the architecture, like the back of the city, like you see these giant male statues. There's a picture I put in the chat where there's one statue that's holding two giant balls in his hand. I'm just like, I feel like you're trying to tell us something. That's all I could think of.
Oh, that did it for you, Mike. It wasn't the beginning where like they drive a big penis mobile to go fight a big penis rocket, and then they jump out of the penis rocket. That wasn't your first hint.
No, I actually didn't even think about that till later. I'm like, oh, hey, we forgot we hadn't talked about them surfing out of that rocket. That's what you do in the middle of the air.
Oh,
Sure.
God, it's
Totally
I've read it.
tubular.
You know how I've
so many
said
times.
no, Cowabunga. Cowabunga.
Yes, Cowabunga. Turtles were famous at this time, remember?
Oh yeah.
Well, Turtle Mania is long since over by 97, but there's so many times the way they fire those grappling hooks, I'm like, you're losing your arms. Like, they're falling in like terminal velocity. It's like, oh yeah, I'll just fire my grappling hook. Like, both of your arms are coming off, or you're out of commission for like a long ass time.
I was thinking the exact same thing while watching this movie. When they, especially when they're falling, all of a sudden they just throw when they're falling that part, and they just throw the battery. I'm like, they're dead. Like, they were falling too long, and their arms are just gonna come off.
Look, some back tech is better than others. Do we have bat tech where we can fire a grappling hook and our arms don't blow up our bodies? Yes. Do I have Wayne tech where my TV shoots a laser in my head and blows my brains out? Probably. Do I have Wayne tech that's a security system, but whenever it activates, an old man just barks at you and nothing happens? Maybe entirely. But I'll tell you what, Barbara, whenever you lose your legs, I sure as fuck don't have Wayne tech to make your legs work again. Gotta go.
Oh my God.
That was a long, deep cut for that joke.
Woo.
Yeah.
But it was funny.
But when you say-
All I'm thinking is a Chris Rock comedy routine where it's like, I can't walk. Here's a chair. I said I couldn't walk. I didn't say I couldn't sit.
but,
I also couldn't get over how many diamonds he's already stolen.
several.
Okay,
I mean, throughout this movie, you just see all these big ass diamonds. Like, a little too many diamonds there.
Yeah, those
All
are
right.
cartoonishly big diamonds.
let's talk about diamonds. What are
Diamonds forever?
Diamonds
I'm just
are extremely common.
Diamonds are very common. Diamonds are carbon.
Yep.
Carbon. How the fuck is Mr. Freeze running a suit that uses diamonds as a power source? Carbon is the most common element in life.
You cannot have life without carbon.
You can do magic. You can have a frozen suit if you desire
Who
magic.
cares
That's what I
about McGregor's syndrome? He invented a power source that can use literally anything you put in there as fuel.
So did he?
So
did
we're
he-
watching. Oh, you go.
Go, you make the joke. Go ahead. That was
So we're
the
watching
tee-up
Back
for
to the
you.
Future too?
There we go. Woo! I saw that wiffle ball coming, man. But I'm glad to swing. Good for you, man.
And they live in a world where they've established that there is an alien who can crush coal into diamonds. Because
I don't
that's what Superman could do.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, good point. Yeah.
So what the fuck, man?
Look, that disease was really deadly, and it's going to it cured Alfred. Alfred is now strong enough to fucking make my lobster bisque for me before I go to bed. Even though he's like 80, and I'm pretty sure he'll die in a year anyways. It's like,
So it's like, I get a COVID vaccine and I'm on my ass for a day. This guy is near dead. And he gives him like 2 bottles of like banana penicillin. And he's like, oh, I can go clean the house and make your breakfast now.
Meanwhile, fucking Mr. Freeze, technically Dr. Freeze, because he was a fucking scientist, is in jail while his wife's a fucking popsicle. And she's also fucking Man-Thing, or whatever that Harley Quinn joke is.
Also, so he's in jail, and they give him the suit to be Poison Ivy's roommates. But the suit has to be powered by diamonds.
That's
oh, yeah, I
already
forgot
a
about
problem.
that.
But a bigger problem is, when is Arkham allowing like co-ed roommates? There's a secure women's wing somewhere. This should not be allowed to happen. This is a legal problem.
And in his Jesse Ventura cell in the first time, there was only a cone around his bed, so I'm just like, I have to use the bathroom. Like, okay, move the light over to the toilet.
No, just fucking piss your pants, man.
But I guess like the toilet water would be frozen. I don't know. The logic of Mr. Freeze's bowel movements.
Okay, like, oh God, no. Okay, no, I'm not going to spend any time on this.
I was gonna say something fucked up about like curing Alfred of his deadly disease is kind of like keeping your 17-year-old dog alive, where you're just kind of like, well, at least he drinks water, and it's like, Mom, he has a fucking diaper on, and when he yawns, you can see holes in his cheeks. Why are you still keeping him alive?
Oh.
Well, he's got to make my lobster bisque.
He loves being a servant. He's happy here.
Oh,
I think he'd be happy if you hired some more help.
Oh my God.
Everyone's dark here at the end, didn't we?
Yes, we did.
Hey, some people like indentured servitude. That's all I'm going to say.
I'm just saying it's funnier whenever they make Alfred just a little bit younger every series, especially when we have the Batman where Alfred looks like he could snap the Batman in half.
I can't wait for the sequel.
I can't either.
Hey, we should close this up by talking about other better Batman movies. No, I'm kidding.
We've talked about most things in this movie.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like if I talk about any more about this movie, my brain's going to collapse in on itself.
Yes, like a dying sun. So let's go ahead and just wrap it. Sorry, you guys have been chatting for like the last 20 minutes, and I've been mindlessly looking at other things because my brain has rebelled against it. It's just, we just got to get out of here. Let's just punt, please.
All right, we can go to shelf stack.
All our sanities, please.
Our Kenneth sanities.
Hey, how's it going?
And Joe, since this was your lovely idea, why don't you go first?
I'm gonna go ahead and put this on the stack. Honestly, the only reason why I'm watching this is because we're finishing the movies off. I wouldn't wake up one day and just be like, what sounds like a good movie? The gayest Batman movie, Batman and Robin. Then again, I feel like Batman Forever is gayer. Yeah, I probably would only watch this unless I'm watching all the movies in a row, which is obviously what we did. So I put it in the stack.
Okay, I'll go next. I'm also going to put this in the stack because I had some fun with this movie. I had completely forgotten what happened to Ivy in this movie until just now I saw she got trapped in the plant when I'm rewatching this because I completely forgot. But just going to the stack, I had a fun time. I came into this movie thinking I was going to hate it, and I actually laughed my ass off. So going to stack. What about you, Bill?
This is going. Yeah, you just start the snickering now. This is going in the box. Obviously, I found no joy in this movie. There's something to be said for stupid fun, but this is just stupid and overwhelming. And I was actually doing other things while watching it. I was actually watching this while answering emails and like doing other things. I didn't even want to dedicate the time, like the block of time I usually dedicate to watch a movie. And I haven't seen this movie in a decade. Easy. And I gave it an open mind, but after the first 15, 20 minutes, I was ready to turn it off and have it be over with. It's one of those movies where I don't think it's anyone's fault. Like we've said a number of times already, this is the big corporation's fault. They rushed a movie out with ill intent. They rushed it out with the intent to just make a movie to sell product, and that is never good art. So there you go. And this is a extremely poor movie. Tons of baffling decisions. Is it visually interesting? Yeah, there's some stuff. Are some of the fight things fine? Yeah, it's okay, but nowhere near. I probably will. I'd like to say I'll never see this again, but I'm sure I'll end up at somebody's house, some hipster's house. Be like, hey, let's go watch Batman and Robin. That's the best one of the series. And I'm gonna be like, yeah, this is where we live now, right? Trump's gonna be in office again. Batman and Robin is good, and here we are. Here we are.
Don't you put
4 years.
Don't you put that juju on us, Bill Tucker? God damn it! I swear to God.
Listen. If you think Batman and Robin is a good movie, not it stinks, but I derive enjoyment from it. That's different. You can find enjoyment in bad things. If you think Batman and Robin is good, you are part of the problem. Okay? So please, let's not become the society that lets this become like a newfound cult classic.
I don't think that's gonna. I mean, no. I just think it's entertaining. It's not good. It's just entertaining.
That's fine.
Man.
It's on our Discord where we make Bill watch worse movies than Batman and Robin because
he made me watch Sin City. It's okay. I don't feel any remorse.
Whoa!
Wait, did you say Insidious or Sin City?
Sin
City.
Sin City is good, right?
Yeah.
Listen to what Mike thought about it in that one movie episode on.
Because I mean, it's one of those movies where I loved it back in 2005, but sometimes you watch a movie from 2005 and you're like, I don't really care for this anymore.
That's exactly my take on it. I think I find it very interesting. You should listen to that episode where I talk a lot about it, and the mics just hate me for making them watch it. But yeah, this is going to go in the box, unfortunately. And obviously, my theatrics are all that theatrics. But yeah, this is not a good movie, and yeah, kind of sucks.
Okay, Blair.
Yeah, I'm going to put it in the box too. I don't need to watch this again. I saw it in theater. I probably rented it on VHS once or twice. It was probably on cable a few times, and I was at my parents' house and I turned it on for a few minutes. You know, there's some corny one-liners. The sets are nice. It's not a bunch of CG sludge. I'm assuming these are actually crafted things, you know, so I like it in that regard with set design and things like that. And I love a good Arnold one-liner, but it's just a mess where there's no through line. There's no story. They're trying emotional beats that are undercutted by jokes. You know, there's so many better Batman movies now, animated, otherwise animated series, video games. If you saw this as like a 6-year-old and you love it because you saw it as a 6-year-old, I'm not going to ever take that away from you. You do you. For me, you know, I liked watching it and having this crazy discussion for 2 hours for this show. But yeah, I own the 4K Blu-ray now. So, you know, never say never.
And Ken.
Well, I also watched this in 4K, which is about 2K too much. And look, I'm going to agree that this is a bad movie. This is Warner Brothers already establishing a bad pattern that continues to this day. They're bad people. David Zaslav is a monster.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's a bad movie. You get bad movies when you allow executives to make creative decisions. But
Here we go.
It was more charming than I remembered it being. And I had an okay time with it. Now, I would like to give that a caveat. I have had a wild week at work. I have been working multiple 9-10 hour days this week. I'm exhausted. I could be losing my mind. So
would you say you're losing your Kenneth sanity?
It's possible.
You even want to use that joke, haven't you?
The yellow box goes up in the corner. And at that point, he realized that Kenneth Insanity was born.
Oh, God. Anyway, take it for what it's worth. I had fun with it. Do I think it's good? It is not good. Am I going to say this movie needs to be reappraised? No, absolutely not. Bad movie's bad movie, but I got a little more enjoyment out of it because all the Batman television series nods clicked for me, and I had a good time with it. It's going in the stack because I'm going to watch it again, but there is no world ever that would put this. This will never make it on the shelf. I don't care. I could sit and watch this for a week. It will never be on the shelf. Ever.
Oh, and for the record, I'm never going to watch this movie again. I was just doing it like, yes, I've said I've watched like almost 3 times, well, more like 2.5 times, but that's only because we're talking about it. It's one of those things that this is going to be filed away and never touched again in my life. Just need to make that certain, people. Oh, and Bill, to go along with your earlier joke, when I was in Nashville, I did see 2 Trump stores when I was driving through Nashville. Well, not Nashville, Pigeon Ford, and when I was in Knoxville, around that area.
You know, there's some days I'm annoyed to be living on an island, and that's most days, but after hearing that, no.
Yeah.
In the words of my people, thank God we're surrounded by water.
Yeah, I mean, hey, to be fair, both were empty when I drove by, so that was nice. But one it was 9 o'clock at night, and the other it was like 9 in the morning. So hey, but take it as you will. But they were both empty, so I was like, okay.
Just saying it because when I was looking at reviews for Batman and Robin after my viewing of it, the first 2 reviews that came up in the All Critics section, which is organized by release date, of course, from February 28th of this year, Corey Woodruff of For the Win, USA Today, has it as a positive. Says it's hard to hate a movie that's so fun, even if it's quite flawed. No, Corey, it's very easy to hate a movie that's this flawed. It's extremely easy.
Oh yeah,
Give in to that hate because you, sir, are part of the problem. If you like this movie,
I don't understand why I had fun with this movie. I just had fun.
So. You're allowed to have fun with it.
Yeah, like I love Super Mario Brothers, the movie, not the CG one, the live action one. And
hell yeah.
Boy, if we ever do Jean-Claude Street Fighter on this, I will seriously I will memorize.
We did once, but I'm going to redo it. So.
I will memorize the Raj Julia monologue and do it as my intro.
So
that's on the record.
Oh, it was Tuesday?
No, they call me Mad.
Oh, that one. Yes.
Yes.
So I know exactly why I might like this movie. It's the same reason why I like this movie, the same reason why y'all probably go like, okay, that makes it a very bad movie. It's just Marvel fatigue. I'm so fucking sick of going to a goddamn movie and having to sit down and think like, oh, did I give an example? I went to go see Guardians 3. I forgot to watch fucking the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special. So when they reveal that fucking Locust is Mantis is fucking Star-Lord's sister, I totally forgot about that.
I never seen the holiday
That's
special
all you need to know from that special is that that's a sister. That's it.
Well, the ending's touching too, but like, you know, or like, oh, where are the Easter eggs? Did I remember to watch everything before this? Blah blah blah. No, this is back in the heyday where you can just sit down, turn your brain off, and look at Chris O'Donnell's fucking chest and ass the whole fucking time. So I mean, like. Honestly, I am really getting sick of fucking Marvel fatigue, and I honestly feel better when I go to a movie and just like, oh yeah, like I saw Godzilla and King Kong, had the best time of my life because I didn't have to think about anything the whole time I was watching that movie. Just watch monkey beat giant dinosaur.
Well, we're in the X-Men 97 world now where you don't need, well, I guess you have had to watch the series, but
not really.
It's not like I had to watch like 20 shows before I watched this one.
Right.
Go watch X-Men 97. That's the rule of this now. Go watch X-Men 97 right now. If you haven't started,
you get caught up on that.
You know what other show you can watch without having to watch a bunch of other shit? Moon Knight.
Oh, yeah,
I know. I'm thinking about it.
That's
have
okay.
you seen Moon Knight?
I have. I saw it when it came out, but I know Ken has been trying to get me to put it on the show since it came out.
I have been trying to get any Moon Knight on this show. I love Moon Knight.
Bill, have you seen Moon Knight?
I have not seen it, no.
Oh, you're missing out, dude. But I know you've seen Moon Knight, right?
Yeah, it's completely fine. It was in one ear out the other.
Same.
I like Moon Knight.
All right, I may have to check it out.
Part of MCU Phase 4. Ooh, that I don't know. We're doing Eternals. Depending when you hear this, Eternals is coming out later. Well, already would have been recorded. But yeah, so I don't know. The itch is there, but I don't know how far that itch is gonna go. So
we'll see.
So excited to listen to Eternals.
In wrestling terms, like Eternals is when you're in the headlock and you're in the sleeper hold and you're nearly gone, and then that arm goes up one more time and you're out, and then you're like, oh, the new Spider-Man, and then the arm goes up and you get your energy back again.
I didn't hate Eternals the one time I watched it. I'm like, this is fine. To quote, I think what Joe said, it should have been a TV show, and he's right. Like, but I had no problem with it. So we'll see. And I love Spider-Man No Way Home. Doctor Strange was great. Thor Love and Thunder was a piece of trash that should have been lit on fire and burned.
Nah,
and
it's not
then
that bad.
Black Panther Wakanda Forever is fine.
Eternals is a bad movie if you're an anime fan, because that movie is just Madoka Magica. Someone will get that reference.
I do not.
Not I.
Interesting.
And also, I should have said at the top of the episode, but I forgot to. This was a Patreon voted for this to do this back in freaking like February. Now it's finally done.
Yay! I'm happy.
Hooray!
I'm watched a movie that I never thought I would watch. So okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I should have. It's a comic book movie. It's a famous movie, infamous movie, I should say. So I'm glad I did watch it finally, and never again. I'm also glad my wife wasn't around this week, so because she'd have been like, "What the fuck are you watching?" So it worked out well.
Your wife walking into the basement, you face full of wings, hands dirty, hands wet from wing sauce, which is Uma Thurman shaking her ass on TV, just like what?
Not even that. It's like Mike rocking back on the couch, like Kramer and Seinfeld eating Kenny Rogers roasters, and like Chris O'Donnell's like giant codpiece just served on the screen. Like, oh.
All right, I think it's time to go to plugs. Blair, where can we find you at?
Oh God, I don't even know anymore.
I can tell you if you need me to.
You can read my work at comicbookvideogames.com. I post there periodically, not as much as what I should be doing. You can find me on social media, either at Blarcade on most platforms. Twitter and Blue Sky is where I'm most active. On Instagram, I think it's Blair Farrell 1984. I actually have a new one this time. It's the first time ever. I guess I'm also a streamer now, ?
Yeah,
I've been streaming lots of my superhero games. I got a kill screen on The Amazing Spider-Man 1. Benjamin Rivers showed up. I was pretty happy about that. And go to twitch.tv/Blarcade, same as my Twitter, and where I'm streaming all types of superhero games like Maximum Carnage and Game Boy Spider-Man and Punisher and, everything in my massive collection that I've been writing about. I can now play with people and have them show up.
And Bill, where can we find you at?
You find me at A Gamer Looks at 40 podcast. It's a show that's a nostalgic look at the history of games through the people and personalities that lived it. I don't know when this is coming out, and I don't know what's coming up, but I'm in the middle of early May. Who knows? I'll be Final Fantasy something. Probably Final Fantasy 4 will be in the middle of talking about. And my 100th episode will have been released, which is a very, very special one because it stars, I guess. It's a conversation with the original editor-in-chief of Nintendo Power, Gail Tilden, where she talks about Nintendo Power and how it got started and all that fun stuff and culture and life at Nintendo. It's a pretty cool conversation. So check that out. It's a pretty good one for a number 100. And a gamer looks at 4040.com for all of my everything.
All right. And if you enjoyed this episode, you can find over 600 other episodes of this podcast. Everything we do is on Podbean. You can type in Spider-Man. You will find episode. Type in Batman, or actually in the show notes, you will see all our Batman content that we've done. Type in Daredevil. You will find an episode, unfortunately. So we've done a lot of comic book movies. Just type in stuff. You never know what you'll find on our catalog. And you want to support the show, as I mentioned top of the show, or I should have mentioned top of the show, we have a Patreon, a little dog vote in our Patreon. We have different polls every month. That's where this came from. I'm doing 1 to 2 polls a month, depending on how far behind I get on plans. So definitely go do that, support the show. And we have a Discord, free. Join our Discord, chat with us. You can suggest things. You can join the community and make the number tick up and make me happy. Even if you don't talk, just join and make me happy. So you can go do that. I want to give a shout out to my awesome intro and outro courtesy Elena at Hell Hatsphere. You can follow her on TikTok, Twitch, Instagram. You'll see a link to her link tree in the show notes. And want to give a shout out to Nintendo Main Podcast, Nomads of Fantasy, Talk Games, Chew Bubblegum. It's just some of the ones I work with. God, I can't remember what Kyle's podcast is. Unidentified UFO podcast. It's in our Discord. Join our Discord. You'll see that. Just want to give a shout out to some of the friends of the show. And please follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Blue Sky, Threads, wherever you can find. We're everywhere. And rate and review us wherever you see wherever you get your podcasts. It helps out the algorithm. I think that's everything I need to say. So we will see you guys all next time. Bye, everybody.